shot here. Oh, you're gonna get a 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 shot here.
Welcome to the No Shot NBA podcast with Chuck and Duck. And engineer Ben behind the scenes. The No Shots podcast is brought to you by Dank Delish Coffee. The best beans in the galaxy are the only way to start your morning. Go to dankdelish.com and order some. You won't regret it. You can listen, like, and subscribe to the No Shots podcast on Spotify and YouTube. And listeners, please don't be afraid to send us any questions at noshotspod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. That's noshotspod@gmail.com.
Honey. Too far. Huh? Yeah, Kanye song.
Okay, honey. Is that from a Kanye song?
Yeah.
I knew that.
Yeah, you know hip hop.
This is like Here Comes Johnny all over again.
Here comes Johnny. Hey, I'm Johnny Knoxville, and I'm the host of The Tonight Show.
Here I come.
And here I come, baby.
Here I come.
Here I am. All right, you ready, Ben? You gotta lock in.
I'm ready.
All right,
ready.
Go ahead. Whoa. What the Helly? What the Helly Barry? What the Helly Burton? What the Helly Bron James? What the Helly Benjamin Button? What the Helly Chuckarooski? What the Helly Danny's Diamonds? We're back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And germs, and cats and dogs. No other animals. This is a No Shots podcast. I'm What the Helly D on the mic. Over here we got Benjamin Button's disease.
All right.
What the hell is this?
And then we got Chuckaroonski, baby. Chuckaroony.
Drunk.
More like Drunkaroony.
Drunk Chuck.
Drunk Chuck.
Ladies and gentlemen, for this podcast, Chuck will be drunk.
I literally... Yeah, I've had so many drinks tonight.
You're wasted. You're absolutely gone.
We witnessed him.
We are the No Shots podcast, and today we'll be talking about basketball. Yep. Is the NBA draft lottery rigged?
Big rig.
Big news in the forefront. Giannis is open to exploring other options?
No, I heard that he's actually open to being open to exploring.
He's open to being open
about exploring
other options.
Yeah.
What the helly? All right, we're quick shotting in the first round. We're deep diving the semifinals. And of course, previews and predictions for those conference finals. We've missed a lot. So much that we also have WNBA predictions at the very tail end. Stay tuned for that. But before all that, hello. What the hell? How you guys doing today?
It's me.
What is this reference to? I don't understand it at all.
What the hell?
Yeah.
It's a rap song.
Okay. By who?
I have it written Rob 49. I don't know if he pronounces it different, but that's how it's written. Rob 49. I don't know. It's a fun joke song. I should have sent it to you before this episode started.
What if it's Robe?
Do you know
49?
this Ben?
Danny just told me about this song.
Okay,
actually,
so it's like a little secret between you two.
I thought you were there when I told you, but you might have gone to the bathroom.
Trying to start some shit,
right? Always trying to make things secret.
This is how it feels to be winners, Danny.
You're not.
Hey, we're gonna save it.
You're not a winner.
We're gonna save it for the preview.
Well, we're certainly not a loser.
Deep dive, quick shot. Live stuff is gone.
Your team lost.
Whoa.
In the
Save
first
it.
round.
Save the smack talk. It's getting ugly quick. They're taking off the gloves already. already.
I know.
This has been a contentious
You don't even have
postseason.
the quiet excuse this time.
Oh my god, here we
So
go.
why not? I wanted to give a shout out, by the way.
Oh, let's give quick shouts.
I'm not
Also, I'll
gonna-
give a quick shout out to Rob 49.
Or Robe 49 for all we know. I'm not going to name any names, but I met some young fans of ours recently.
You did?
Yeah, you were there too. People who like the pod, but you know who you are, and I appreciate all you listeners out there.
This is Chuck here, and I have no idea who
No
they're
idea
talking
who they're
about.
talking to or about. No, you can say it. My nephew.
Yeah, Danny's little nephews.
Shout out to my nephews.
Oh,
Okay,
I
I
remember-
guess just one of them knew us from the pod, but it seemed like they both knew the
yeah,
pod.
I don't think he listens to every pod though.
Well,
Well, I'll find out if he listens to this. We'll see. I doubt it though. His attention span. There's nothing visual.
of course. I'm sure it's his background on in the car or whatever,
Yeah.
like when they're going
I think he
somewhere.
listened to 5 minutes once.
But
and
in
says he
case you
listens
hear
to it.
this, thank you. Thank you for listening.
Ben does have one fan now.
Yeah, technically.
Confirmed fan.
I know I'm out here
Wow.
doing
Benjamin
meet and
Button.
greets, Charles.
Meet and greet. What are you talking about?
I'm trying to do some PR here.
Okay, good.
Connect with our
shout out
fan
him.
base.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it.
Yeah. I don't want this to be a contentious pod. You know.
It's gonna be.
Yeah, especially if Charles keeps
Will it
trolling.
though? Whoa,
I'm not
whoa,
trolling.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Just speaking some truth.
You're either trolling or controlling. All right.
Well, no one sent us an email.
What you guys know? Emails. Shocker. Yeah. Yeah. Shocker there. I could have told you that. But no, what you guys got going on? Any small talk? What we got? What are we doing here?
Do we have small talk?
I got a driver's license. I don't think I had that.
I think
last
we
pod.
talked about that last
Okay,
pod.
I guess that's
Wow.
I guess that's that then. Nope, no news. Well,
Is good news.
yeah, no good news.
Okay. All right. Well, we don't have to have any news, I
Yeah,
think
I
all
don't know. I just
everything
signed
we
an
were
apartment today, so
Whoa.
I gave them my money.
What's the address?
Leak daddy.
Well,
Leak it.
I will send it to whoever emails us.
No, you
Oh, you just heard that, ladies and gentlemen. Send Charles an email, and he will send you the address of the apartment
his home.
he has
We
not yet
should
moved
give
into.
Danny's address out so
Why?
he can get those nudes.
Whoa, whoa,
we
whoa.
get the
You think people want to mail him?
Mail me?
nudes?
No.
He's asked for nudes on this.
Yeah, but I asked
podcast.
for it on the podcast
email.
email.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
no, it would come in.
I don't
the
want it
podcast.
coming to my home. My domicile. No
Oh,
shot.
man.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
so
yeah, okay.
What's going on with you, D?
Well, we saw a movie. What movie did we see? The Shrouds.
Yeah.
That was fun. All right. Shout out to David Cronenberg.
Shroud out.
Shroud out.
That
That's
movie
it.
had a lot of really funny lines.
It did.
To me, it was really funny.
It was funny.
I thought it was funny.
It was funny. Weird one though. Weird.
Yeah, no rewatch value, probably.
Not much.
But like, if someone put it on at a party, wouldn't
You would
mind.
start watching it.
I'd be like, oh, Shrouds, yeah.
Oh, the Shrouds.
Or maybe the party's winding down and you're
Yeah.
settling in for a late night movie.
Maybe.
All right.
Anyways,
All right,
shout
move
out
on.
Cronenberg.
Move
Shout out
on.
Vincent Castle and that one lady.
Diane Kruger.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Just great.
Great. Well, what you got in the news, Chuck? Oh yeah, you already told us the apartment.
got the apartment.
Yep.
The guy said
So-
we can, even though the lease starts in July. He said he'd give me the keys on June 1st.
Ooh, I love that.
And he said we
Squatting
could-
for
It's
one month.
unreal. Unbelievable luck with
He said we
New
could
York
paint,
apartments this guy
paint
has.
whatever we want to.
What?
Wow, he gave you
You
the
have
freedom
insane
to
luck.
paint. It's going to be so
insane.
wildly colorful in
Oh,
there.
we're
I
gonna
can't
go
wait.
Yeah, it
nuts.
is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna paint the fucking walls.
Well, you guys got any input on what the studio colors should be?
Ooh.
Black.
All black.
All black and red, like a polka pala. Just
you
design
know-
it to look like a little casino.
Ooh, everything's felt.
No.
Yeah.
I like light colors, pastels, or like desert
Well,
kind of
so-
Mojave,
Mahogany.
You know,
mahogany.
the colors that Katie wants to paint things are that prog map up there.
Those colors.
Yeah,
Yeah, she likes these colors.
yeah. That's
By the way,
kind of
listeners, we're
pastel-y.
looking at a pastel-colored Prague map.
Thank you.
I'm
with,
more of a-
with a dash of blue.
With
I'm more of a
nice river running
there's
through.
there's a lot of colors. There's purple. There's
a
like
lot.
a
There's a
pinky
lot.
orange. There's orange,
No,
or
yeah,
purple.
But
you
in
know.
general, it is definitely like a paler pastel palette.
Is this worse or better than commenting on the screensaver?
This is way worse.
Don't get me started on that.
This is way worse.
Danny, you know what that river's called?
Nile.
You got it.
Is it really?
Nope.
I was like, there's no way.
It's the
Voltava, bro.
Voltava.
I wouldn't know that. I like Czech to you.
Yeah.
Listen, shout out to all my Czech Republicans.
Huh. Yeah. Never thought to call a person that. So interesting. All right.
All right. What we got going on? We're moving
I
on.
do want to say that
talking about
that
Go ahead.
you know, Andor just wrapped up.
Oh, wait, hold on.
second
Can we go back to your
season.
house for a second?
Yeah, sure.
There's one piece of decor in Charles's house that will not be original, just so everybody knows.
Not this again.
You know, just briefly for the listeners, Charles saw an item in my house, my coffee maker.
It was ridiculous.
And he was like, Ben, I love that coffee maker. And I was touched, really.
Yeah. I didn't even know it's the coffee maker, listeners.
And the next day I get like a sly text about like, hey, you know, can you still get a
Random
discount
DM.
at that online store? Where
I
you
just asked if you
purchase
had
the
your
coffee?
MoMA membership.
If I had my MoMA membership. And yeah, so now we're going to have the same coffee maker, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. You sound excited about it.
I am.
might have to get
Okay.
one
I
for
am.
Danny for Christmas or something.
Oh, that
Or
would
their
be
birthday's
big.
coming up.
Trio coffee maker.
Yeah, the drip trio.
That way we're all dripped up.
We're dripped up, bro.
Ooh. That'd be nuts.
Yeah.
That'd be bananas. Well, yeah, shout out to that coffee
So,
maker.
anyway,
Anyway, what I was saying was
Well, yeah, what were you saying?
Andor just wrapped up, which you know is pretty much just the best thing that Star Wars maybe ever made.
Yep.
And so I just wanted to give a shout out because that shit is too good compared
Shout
to the
out
rest
to
of it.
Andor.
You know, and yeah, the second season, which leads into a movie that
They're
is-
ending
is
with a
less
movie?
gritty. What's up?
They're ending with a movie.
No, the movie already came out
Oh.
a couple years ago. Rogue One, and then Andor is the
Oh,
prequel to
I
that.
see. So
But
Rogue
it's-
One's a prequel, and
Yeah.
Andor's a prequel to the prequel.
Yep, absolutely. But it's the grittiest.
Star Wars for
It's
you.
the grittiest Star Wars you'll ever get on screen. There's like, you know, it's more of a spy thriller than it is revolutionary spy kind of thriller
Okay.
thing. There's really not much of the Force in it. Like,
Wait,
like
what's
there's
going
no
on? Are you
Jedi.
pitching us Andor here?
Yeah, I'm
What's going-
pitching Andor. I just wanted to talk about it for a couple minutes.
That's fair.
Because it's definitely one of my favorite shows. All right, I'll shut up.
Yeah, it is.
No,
you talk about it all the time.
You talked about the
done.
shroud.
Shout out Andor. No, I'm not mad. It was just funny the way the way they were talking about it was like
Yeah, I'm adding.
they never
I'm
talked
adding,
about it
'cause-
to us.
Well, I do
But
think
I'm
I
not
do think
minded.
that people should watch it because
Yeah.
I don't think it gets as much airtime as it deserves because it's a Star Wars show. But honestly, it works. You know, sans the Star Wars. Like you don't really actually
okay.
have to. I think it's good, regardless.
Fair enough. Fair
So,
enough. Shout
it.
Andor and the creators of it.
Yep. All right, I'm done.
You got any more but shout outs, Ben?
No.
Okay.
Let's get to the basketball.
Let's get to the basketball. All right. What do you guys want to talk about first?
We can start lottery and build up to the current events.
Okay.
Set the stage, Danny.
Okay. So, what day was it? Who cares? There's one night, right, where all the balls fall in the NBA. Basically, listeners at home, all the teams that weren't good, didn't make the postseason this year, they get put into a lottery. And what happens if you win that lottery? You get the number one pick, baby. Number one. It has notoriously gone to teams that aren't the worst team. And it's been notoriously called rigged. And this year, the ping pongs fall. I don't know. What's your thoughts on it? All right. You guys-
Like that quick cut. All right. Well, you know, let's just say first of all that
First of all.
Dallas, who had a 1.8% chance of
Let's
the
say
first
it.
pick, they won. They won the
The
lottery.
Dallas Mavericks.
How many balls are in there?
Dude, we can't.
Well, let's get to that in a
It's not like a
second.
straight system. It's like
It's a weird system.
It's like a fucking conclave, right?
yeah. Do
but-
you want to get to the system off rip?
we,
Want to go
we
straight
can try.
system?
I still don't really
I don't
understand
understand
it at
it.
all.
Tell me
but
what you understand of the system, because I'm
there's like,
super
it's like a
ignorant.
multiple ball system.
Yeah.
And the guy who picks the balls has to stand and not look at any of the balls. Like he faces the other direction.
And
And,
And if there's a
boop.
majority of one ball or something, there has to be a
feels-
majority to win.
no,
it's a percentage.
it's
I understand
I
that,
don't
but the
really understand
process-
because there's like multiple round. Like I think there's like elimination.
Okay,
I don't
I don't
really
know.
understand.
Yeah,
All
we're
right, all right.
ignorant to
All I'm
this.
saying is
Ignoramuses.
1.8% is not that small of a chance. It's more than 1 in 100. You got 100 ping pong balls, one of them's going to come out. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
obviously it would be
Yeah.
more likely to go to
The-
a team with 23%.
What was the
or-
percentages?
Yeah, what was the
before this?
highest probable?
14%.
Okay,
14% for the
14%.
first three
So,
teams,
yeah.
right? Who with the worst record.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. All
And
have
it continued
14%.
down. And what was the lowest percentage?
The 14th, the Hawks had 0.7%.
0.7. So they were like, what, 12th? Dallas? 11th?
11th.
11th. Because
Yeah,
you know
so-
why?
And they won the coin
They
toss
won that coin flip
with the Bulls.
with the Bulls.
Wow.
They had the same record, you know, and one of the tiebreakers
Right.
is literally coin flip.
That's crazy. Yeah,
won
and
it.
it worked out for them.
And now they got the
I mean,
number
it
one
is
pick.
crazy that no one. Yeah, I don't. I wasn't even thinking of Dallas as a bad team in the lottery. No, I don't think anyone was. It was kind of the same with the Spurs a few years ago, though.
Not
Not really.
Not really.
They had a better chance.
It was like
But
with
it
the
still-
Hawks
it still
last
felt
year.
like a
But
dark
last
horse.
year. So the thing is,
Spurs had one of the highest odds.
yeah, the Spurs were bad that year.
Oh, okay.
It was like
guess
that with
they
the
were.
Hawks last year, but the thing is, this year there's a blue chip prospect who's going 1-1 named Cooper Flag. It's the capture the flag. Everyone was tanking for him, and
Yeah,
Dallas jumps up.
sure. But
all the way from
Wemby was a
position.
blue chip prospect. Kate
Yeah, but
was
no,
a
I'm
blue
saying-
chip project.
Last year happened with the Hawks.
The Hawks jumped a
Like
a
they were
bunch.
12th.
They were
Right.
12th, but
In the
now,
lottery.
But this was Riza Shea.
Exactly. So no one really
No
cared
one
that
cared.
much.
Yeah,
but now people care.
It's Cooper Flag.
yeah, and because of the Luka trade.
And post right after this guy's been getting berated for 6 months, this Nico Harrison guy falls.
It really is too much of a life raft to give.
It's
that,
insane.
That guy.
Yeah, it's insane. He got saved. So my question to you is: the NBA draft lottery rigged?
I don't think so.
Probably, yeah.
No, I don't think so. It is.
So I'm 50-50, right? Because my whole life, right? It's rigged. Come on.
You felt that way.
Come on.
Yeah.
The frozen envelope, LeBron staying in Cleveland, D-Rose staying in Chicago.
okay.
Like, it's right.
I-
So
I
my
don't-
whole life, it felt rigged. This time around, they straight up like they're trying to explain the process to us this year. And also all the media that
They
witness
get to
it,
go.
but they just can't say anything until it gets televised.
Right, they do witness it.
So I feel like if it was obviously rigged, the media would just be like, "Oh yeah, duh," you know.
Yeah,
This-
I think it could have.
So now I'm on the thinking of that's less rigged as I get older, which is insane because this seems as rigged as it gets. Dallas getting it.
I think in the past, I think it
Oh,
could
yeah.
have been.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
I don't think it is now.
Which
I
is
think this was
crazy,
just-
because this is like the perfect let's rig like all the worst teams fell out of the top 3.
Yeah,
Like Charlotte got fourth.
Brutal.
They got like all the worst teams got thicked on this lottery.
So what do you? What
No,
are you?
it probably is one of those things where it's happened. Something like this happened so perfectly, no one would ever think to rig it this way.
Yeah.
Because if you did that, it would be the most obvious
Yeah.
rig in the world. But I don't know. Yeah, what were you going to ask?
Well, I think it's maybe primarily because it is Dallas, but a lot of people are now came out of the woodworks. I feel like after they won and were complaining that the lottery isn't working.
Like the perennial bad teams, right?
I think it was media people.
Oh, just
were
media?
like, this is a travesty that this happened. Like,
That's interesting.
because I feel like this is how the lottery system is supposed to work. No,
Yeah.
Why? Yeah, why not?
I don't know why.
What's the issue? It didn't go to a bad enough team?
Yeah, I don't know. I think most of it is that the Dallas just got bailed out.
Well,
I think
that's what
the
happens.
sentiment.
It's a lottery.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you, but
I'm just saying, I heard a lot of people,
Right.
people on ESPN saying that, this was unfair.
we have to fix the lottery. In other sports, it does sometimes go to just like the worst team gets the
Yep.
best pick.
Yeah, I think just football.
I guess the term
because
would
baseball
be-
just implemented a lottery recently.
The
interesting,
draft lottery is broken.
Yeah,
People say that a bunch.
they do.
Well,
I just think it's working exactly how it is because you can't be,
Yeah.
like,
I
how
mean,
are you allowed to
low-key-
do what like Utah and Charlotte and Washington have done over the last 5 years?
Yeah.
Like, it's just disgusting. I mean, the Jazz got fined like multiple times this year for sitting Lauri Markkanen.
Oh, for
so
the
they kind of
tanking.
deserved their punishment.
Yeah.
I did not feel bad for the Jazz
That's an interesting take. Yeah.
because they really tried to not win games.
Oh, of course.
But like the Mavericks also tried to tank a few years ago, the year before their finals run. Right?
Yeah,
they
and-
deliberately lost,
And they
games.
got rewarded for that.
and they did get rewarded.
So that's the thing. I think that's the idea is like a team like Dallas who shouldn't have really even been in the lottery. Like, I know they traded Luka, but it coincided with Davis getting hurt, and they're just
Kyrie,
the
yeah.
quality of team and Kyrie. The quality of team they are is not a team that should be in the lottery. And then for them to just jump, it's not just like, oh, the Trailblazers won. Well, you could say the Trailblazers won. I think people would be much happier with that because while they're as constructed, fully healthy, they're just not a playoff team. Whereas Dallas probably was.
Yeah.
But Portland was kind of playing hard this year, despite being a bad team.
Exactly.
As we saw.
But they wouldn't have lucked into it as much as say Dallas did. Like it just saved Nico's ass.
It is crazy.
like unbelievably.
It's insane.
It's like, oh my God.
And we thought this whole saga
I thought it was
over.
going to be over.
Thought it was
and
over.
now it's here.
And he's somehow
He
redeemed.
somehow got Cooper flagged. He kept spamming defense wins championships.
One little takeaway, because the Spurs also jumped up to number 2.
Yeah, I want to talk about 2 and 3 also.
Is this talent pool is like all these good players are going west. There's like, theories that Giannis could be traded out west. A lot of the teams that he gets proposed are out west. It's just really stacked over there. Like,
Yeah.
and it feels like it's just getting more. So
It's getting more,
the fact
yeah.
that an East team couldn't get Cooper is
Yeah.
kind of rough.
Yeah.
Where does the Nets fall in this lottery?
Screw
The
it.
Nets are
I'm
eighth.
so-
That's what I mean.
All the actual
I think
really
even the
bad
Nets,
teams.
I would have felt good about the Nets winning.
I would have felt good about
Yeah.
the Nets or like, I don't know. I kind of wanted the
Raptors.
Wizards to win because I thought there's no way they're going to get anything if they don't win this time.
Yeah. Yeah,
But,
and
yeah.
they need a life raft. The
need-
Wizards just need a
desperately
life
need
raft
life raft.
desperately.
Yeah. But, yeah. Sorry, what was the question?
It wasn't really.
There's not that
a question.
everyone's the
This
West.
is just the West is just
No,
getting
that's
more
exactly what I
powerful.
think. And we'll get to like all the possible trade rumors from like the good players on the move, right? But yeah, they're likely going to go to the West. It seems like,
Yeah, Cooper
and I feel like the East
is
is
in
just
the
going to
West.
be even worse next year.
Yeah, and then Tatum obviously
Yeah, we'll
out,
get
so
to
it
it.
gets even get the talent pool over there gets
Yeah.
even weaker.
Yeah,
People keep saying the East is in shambles. I don't know if I agree with that.
I kind of think it is right now.
Ben's not
Because
listening
that's
to
what you
what
know.
we're
I
saying.
am listening. That's what you're alluding to. You keep saying it's going to get even more stacked, and I agree. There's a lot of good teams
Yeah.
and players over there, and probably more so of the young talent. But last year we had an Eastern champion.
Sure, but it's the mid to
Mid-teams,
bottom
yeah.
that is just
Yeah,
horrible.
but then it makes it
Disparage.
harder.
Disparage.
It's harder to win in the West.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
There's a
It's not,
disadvantage.
it's a good thing. It's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah. Anyway,
Anyways, let's get to the Spurs. How you feel about this?
I mean,
the
this
Spurs
is
got 2.
I really wanted them to win. when
I
when
kind of
they were
wanted them
those
to
last
win.
2,
Yeah, me too.
flag to
please
Wendy.
win. Yeah, that would have been awesome. But,
Oh, come on.
I guess
Imagine.
Dylan Harper, that's his name, right?
Yeah,
The guy, They could use a scoring guard, and that's kind of what he looks like he is.
Yeah, they got Fox and Castle though.
It's true.
They got a couple guards.
Harper's like a bigger
He's like
physical.
6'6".
Like they do say, and he's got excellent footwork. Like some of his comps are like right-handed. He's taller than Brunson.
Yeah.
Like a right-handed Brunson because of his footwork.
That could be fun.
That would be. I mean,
They
he's
could also
likely
move
not
this
going to be
pick, but-
as good as Brunson.
Yeah,
like that
no, he looks
that's,
great.
That's a little much to just put on a young man.
He looks
But-
great. So like this draft class is like Cooper's like in his own tier, then it's Harper in his own tier, and then it's kind of like the rest of the class. Kind of. It's
think
kind of similar to like the
I think
Zion
you could put
class.
like Bailey and Edgecombe. Sort of. Those guys are
and then
probably
the
in
next
that third.
and then the rest.
Yeah.
Probably.
Harper is definitely overwhelmingly the second guy, but
yeah.
like it's not. It wouldn't. I've from what I've listened to, it wouldn't be like asinine if someone picked someone over him for number 2. But he is clearly like at this point the favorite to go second. But it wouldn't be crazy. It wouldn't be like someone's picking over Jordan or anything.
Oh, Sam Bowie.
Sam Bowie. Yeah.
Big shout to Sam Bowie.
So they're a big winner. Sixers are also a big winner.
Sixers at 3.
Just for a point, they could trade something or
Again,
I don't know. If I was them, I would just take some young guy and just have him on the team because you might need to just start this whole process thing over
McCain
again.
and Edgecombe Sixers.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you have your row of losers with the Hornets, Jazz, Wizards, Pelicans, Nets, Raptors.
Yeah. Yep.
Because the Sixers could have lost that pick if it was at 7.
Yeah, the broadcast thought they lost it.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
They thought someone else jumped up or whatever it was, and they're like, that means the Sixers won't convey, and they showed like a saddish McCann.
I was
Jared
just
McCann.
so like,
And then like a few spots later, Sixers come up. Oh wait, and then Jared McCann was going nuts.
I was like, do not let the Sixers get this first pick. If
Yeah.
the Sixers get that would be another. That's in the last 3. It was like 2 team. It would have thrown Philly a lifeboat too. So I was like, Spurs.
Yeah.
Spurs.
Oh yeah. Me too. But yeah, that's the draft lottery recap.
Yeah.
It may be rigged. We don't know. We don't think so, but we kind of think so. That's the answer to your question.
Let's do a little transition here. You're not supposed to say that when you do a transition, but I'm letting everyone know. What do you think about Dallas trading Cooper for Giannis?
Well, they said they wouldn't.
Okay, they said they wouldn't. Whatever. It's so early. It's early.
They could be lying. They said they
could be
wouldn't
totally
trade
lying.
Luka.
Would you trade Cooper for Giannis?
So let's think about this.
Dallas?
Let's think about
if
this.
Dallas was like, hey,
I want to talk about Giannis getting traded to all the top 3 teams.
You want a Giannis
the top 3
and
picks.
AD team?
I just asked you if you would do it.
You're Dallas.
If I'm Dallas? No, I don't want Giannis and AD together.
Okay,
okay,
It doesn't work for me.
valid.
why not?
And
Ben?
Kyrie?
Why not?
They're too big and not enough shooters. No space on the floor for me.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
I
I
don't
think it would
so.
be idiotic.
I'd rather trade AD for Giannis.
Yeah.
I mean, well, yeah, that's valid. But
Because we know AD is basically worth whatever.
all right, let's think about it. Let's break this down. So Dallas is in like this 2-year timeline.
Yeah.
That would be kind of interesting. I kind of like that. Like, what if you're the Bucks? You're like, hey, give us AD and give us some picks.
Give us
Do you
some
have any
picks.
picks? I don't know if Dallas has any
don't
picks.
rebuild.
really.
But that's the interesting thing about this
got
Bucks
no picks for
situation is they don't want to be bad.
They don't want to be bad. They
'Cause
don't have any picks.
They don't have any of their own picks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it does them no service to be bad.
Let's trade, trade him for AD and Derek Lively or something. Give him Giannis.
Giannis paired up with Gafford.
Yeah.
Just be a
How
fun
much you want to
little-
bet Gafford ends up like on the Lakers this year?
Oh,
I feel like
I
I
have
will.
I can
too
already
many
see him
bigs.
in a Lakers uniform.
They can't play Gafford, Lively, and Davis and Cooper.
Right.
It's just too much.
Do
Yeah.
they still have Tim Hardaway?
No, he was on the Pistons.
Did you even
Oh, yeah.
watch that series?
I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
The foul that wasn't called.
Get out of here.
We'll get to it,
The only
listeners.
thing I remember is the step back to end it all.
We'll get to it.
All right. Anyway, you have some Giannis.
Well, okay. How about the Spurs? Let's go down the line.
That's like the mad scientist one.
Yeah.
And why not? They would be crazy. But I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to see with the double bigs all the time. But go ahead.
Would you trade 2 and whatever? Because they actually have what the Bucks want, which is other teams' picks.
The second pick, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they headline with the second pick.
Oh, they have Atlanta picks.
And they have like Atlanta picks and maybe some other picks. And the Bucks want other teams' picks because they want to trade them to a good team.
Yeah,
and then they just get the 25th pick.
What are you throwing in there? Castle and Sohan or something?
Maybe Castle, maybe Sohan.
I don't think
Vassell.
they would throw in Sohan. I don't think they want to get rid of Castle.
Yeah, they would
do everything
Castle.
possible.
I think they would get rid of Castle if they keep 2, but still then.
They're not keeping 2.
Yeah, we're not keeping 2.
Sure.
Yeah.
Would you do that, or would you go with
If I'm the Spurs,
or
if I'm the
stay
Bucks?
strong?
Here's
Either
the thing,
Spurs
though.
or Bucks.
I don't
No,
know.
I would do it if I'm the Spurs.
I'm not.
How
I
about
wouldn't
you?
Giannis on the Spurs?
I wouldn't. If
You
I was
wouldn't?
the Spurs. No, I'm anti.
Okay.
Okay, interesting.
Because I just think like, okay, here are the facts. Giannis is 31.
Yeah.
His last couple of years, a little bit of a checkered injury history. Also, what does this guy do when he gets like a little less athletic out there?
He is entirely reliant on his body.
I think it has to be a team who's like, in 2 years, we can win the championship.
I agree. I don't think I would do it if I was Dallas or if I was San Antonio. However, Philly at 3, I would just say fuck it.
Yeah.
Why
but
not?
I don't know if that's...
I don't know if that's
3
intriguing.
Is getting a little
it's
low.
a little low. It's a little
Yeah.
low, but
Who are you
something.
trading for
They have
Philly?
no picks.
If they just want
They got
player.
3.
You do trade Embiid for Giannis?
No.
Absolutely. 100. If I was Philly,
If you're feeling you got that
100%.
offer, of course.
The Bucks don't want Embiid.
Yeah, they don't.
They're not
No,
going to want Embiid.
I'm sure.
It would probably be Paul George to make the money work.
Yeah.
And that's a guy for them who
everything.
could score just now. Like I think Philly's not I think they're getting Giannis to pair with Embiid and Maxey.
That also is like really choppy spacing. But I guess maybe Embiid
It's
is
choppy spacing for all 3 of these scenarios.
No. I actually don't think
maybe
it's
not the
for
Spurs. Not the Spurs.
because I
Spurs
actually
it makes the most sense.
I think
spacing
they
wise.
would complement each other really well.
I agree.
Like I would love to watch that.
It would be nuts.
Yeah.
It'd be nuts. Imagine the Fox and Giannis pick and rolls. It'd be so
yeah.
fast.
Well,
They would be so
I
fast
don't know.
on the
Maybe
break.
I kind of would do
kind
it.
of
They would be so fast on the
You kind
fast.
of take some of the
On
defensive
transition.
duties off of Giannis too, with Wemby in there.
Oh, my
so maybe you
God.
get a little less wear and
with,
tear.
with all 3 teams,
with all
yeah.
three.
The help side
This- it
defense on
helps
that team
defense-
would be
It'd be
menacing.
insane.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. It makes
Yeah,
you
I
can
honestly-
make an argument for all 3 of these scenarios.
You're so
Sure.
so early, and then in the development cycle of Wemby, I think I might just do it.
It might be nice. You
Right?
could, you could learn
No,
so
'cause,
many
like,
things, but he'd be a little protected too.
You throw some shit away, but like you're so young in this cycle, by the time Wemby is maybe 28, you have capital enough to do another round of
Yeah.
things.
It'd be like Robinson and Duncan.
Yeah, it would be kind of like
Right?
kind of.
what like the Celtics are about to undergo.
Well, here we go. Save it. We're not even there. We haven't even done the
can't
first
even
round.
Talk about that.
You guys are really jumping the gun this episode.
Yeah. The
My
Celtics are where?
All right, you want to talk about some other possibilities, Danny?
That was it. But it was those 3 teams, and it has to do with the Giannis
what about
rumor.
where do you
what
wanna
about
see-
some
for
other?
more-
What
for-
about some other
Okay,
teams?
so-
Just
So San Antonio are heavy favorites for a lot of stars in terms of the rumors online. Not the talking heads. No real stuff has. But other team who are favorites for whatever stars game moved this offseason,
Houston.
Houston.
Yeah.
They have the picks. They have the young talent.
A lot of little tradable players they could get rid of.
they need
They have
to
too many
unload some
guys.
players.
Yep.
Yeah.
They have too many guys. So Houston's got to make a move some way, somehow this offseason.
I just don't understand Giannis on that team either, though.
Because of the spacing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's rough out there.
It's rough out
Like
there.
I think they need a scoring guard,
Right. Because who are their
Yeah.
best shooters?
someone who's
Van
not
Fleet,
Jalen Green.
Van Fleet, Jalen Green.
Yeah, and those guys were pretty
And
horrific.
you need like a good
Dylan
distributor for Giannis too.
Devin
Brooks.
Booker.
Oh.
Devin Booker.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, KD made a lot of sense. Those rumors in
Enemies
the
to friends.
deadline. KD makes a lot of sense on that team. But
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
he does.
Is he going to be a free agent?
He's gone though.
The Suns are trading someone. Like
They better.
and KD makes more sense because he's like the older and they could still do something with Booker. Maybe they trade both of them. Who knows? Suns are doing something.
Yeah, I mean,
All right, so here's what we know
I
so
kind of
far.
think they need to trade Booker to get out of this. Like, I think that's their only option
is the
because they're
Booker.
so fucked that
Yeah.
they have to trade.
I think
him.
so.
But
Yeah, I mean, I would just trade both and just like, okay, here you go, Beal.
It's
You
your
want
team.
to
you
play
don't
here?
have picks either, so
have
maybe you
no
want to
picks. They got
stay
nothing.
average. But I don't know.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, true. They can
I
still
think
try
Booker
to
might
build around Book.
Booker might need to say like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I think so too. And I don't think he's ready for that. We'll see.
No,
But
one more year.
so there's rumors there. There's obviously the Giannis rumors. Before we even get to who won or lost, there was already rumors with the Celtics because of just the luxury tax they're in of the apron of just them moving something. Who knows?
That's been simmering
Who
for a
would
long
be?
time.
That's been simmering for a while.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. So basically, the Rockets are in on someone.
Yeah.
They have to be. They have to be. But who else? What are there any more
Well,
options?
I think, Giannis, I think the Grizzlies got to make a move because
Grizzlies?
that was sad.
Yep.
I think,
Giannis does
You
want
know,
to go to a big market.
you know what I was thinking is the Pelicans. I mean, you could, I think you got, if you're the Bucks and Giannis is like, hey, I need to leave. Like, what if you get a package back that's like, I know Zion and, one of those good wings, either Herb Jones
Murphy.
or
Jones.
Murphy.
Jones makes
and
more
and
sense.
some picks.
It's not
I don't
bad.
know. I
It's
think
interesting.
someone is going to take a chance on Zion soon.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think.
I agree.
Like if you're the
that clock is
if you're the
ticking now.
Bulls, like I don't know why you don't just try this.
Just
Like
try
if I
something.
was the Bulls, I would try to go get Zion.
Yeah. Well, the Pelicans have now they've had no interest to move him.
I know,
There was
but
a rumor, I think, a
you-
couple seasons
you
back when he
might-
was overweight and
yeah,
stuff. But
you might be able
since
to get
then-
him.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Who
I
else?
just think they would be loved to.
Giannis in Brooklyn?
Brooklyn has
Brooklyn.
a huge amount of cap space.
Yep.
Yeah, the most, I think.
Brooklyn makes sense.
So that
the
would
Giannis Thomas Nets? Hell yeah.
because Brooklyn's like one of the only teams who can just take him into the cap space. So that's like a huge cap
Yeah.
relief for the Bucks end of it. I don't
Yeah.
know what they're really getting back
Not getting
in that
much
trade.
back.
I don't. It's not much.
So, yeah.
Like a
Claxton.
Cam
Like,
And you
Thomas,
don't want their picks
Claxton.
anymore
I
that
think
they
will-
tried to get
Brooklyn
back.
would try- yeah.
So because they'd be decent.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, you could.
But they have options. They
I
have
feel
stuff.
like he's
They have
gonna be
stuff.
on the Bucks.
That's interesting.
I just-
throw in, make them take
I
on
just don't
Kuzma's
think.
contract.
I
or
don't
something.
think they'll move him unless he's like, I'm out.
need. Yeah.
He's open to being open.
All right. Well, we'll circle back with Giannis with this first round.
The No Shots podcast is brought to you by Dank Delish Coffee. Whether you need a jolt on the way to the office or in relax mode in the afternoon, Dank Delish Coffee is the only quality bag of Colombian home roasted beans that hits the spot just right. Roasted locally in Queens, New York, you can find Dank Delish coffee beans at dankdelish.com and have their deliciousness shipped right to your lovely abode. Start your morning with a cup of Delish. Why not?
We have any more thing to touch, or you just
No.
want to let's just get into the shits.
Let's do it. We can get into some shits.
All right, let's quick shot these first round series. Did we preview them last episode?
We watched all the games.
Oh yeah,
on
we
that
watched the
day.
first day.
Remember?
Yeah. Seems so
Nuts.
long ago now.
So long ago. Well, but it happened. It came. Those series came in what?
Exactly 1 month ago.
Wow.
4/19.
Shut the fuck up,
Bro.
We're not
Shut
very
the
good at
front door.
scheduling.
Yeah,
But
we're
we
pretty
kind of
bad.
are,
We've been
though.
busy. But
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? No shot. Listen. All right. Here's what's gonna happen on this quick shot of the first round. I'm gonna give out grades. One grade. Well, actually, I'm just gonna give a grade of my perception of these matchups before the series.
What? You're previewing
Yeah.
series that already happened?
And then what's gonna happen is You guys, whoever wants to, it could be Ben, it could be Chuck. You grade how the actual series went down. Any grading scale, 1 through 10, A, B,
Can we
C,
do
D.
school grades?
You could do school grades. You could do fucking fish, different kinds of fish if you want. I don't give a fuck.
What is this? Where is this segment going?
So that's what's gonna
Get this
happen.
under control.
Do you want to do a grade, Ben? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
you don't have to.
I'm
You don't
along
have
for
to.
the ride, buddy.
All right.
But we're just gonna do it.
We're just gonna do it.
Yeah.
But I want you to pick a
Can I
first
pick a
round.
different thing?
Yeah. How about you pick which series we talk about? Which matchup?
No. I
are you
want to
gonna
give a
pick?
grade, but I want to grade something else.
Okay. Come up with something and stop saying on your.
Most disjointed segment of all
Sure.
time.
Sure. I don't care.
I want to grade how I think the series will be if it happened again next year.
Oh my god.
Nah, I don't like that one.
Yep. That's too
All right,
bad.
fine,
That's what I'm
fine.
grading.
Fine. That's what we're grading. All right. So good luck with that, listeners.
yeah.
All right. Now I need you, Ben, to pick a series from the first round so we could talk about it.
All right. Pistons Knicks.
Okay. Pistons, Knicks, the 3 seed versus the 6 seed. And then we're staying in the East because you went East. Ben.
Okay.
We're staying in the East.
That's fine.
All right. What do you guys think? Pistons, here's my grade on the matchup before the series. Guess what? Spoiler alert, I liked most of these first round matchups. I thought they were neat. When I saw them on the paper, I was like, oh, that team versus that team. This offensive team versus this defensive team.
Danny's getting
They did
inter-office
happen.
faxes with the fucking standings on them.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to give the Knicks and Pistons a 6th grade for the preview, a 6 out of 10. That's
6
my
out of
grade.
10.
Yeah.
This was okay. Preview
my
grade. All right,
God.
Charles. What's your actual grade for the actual series? As it
I think it's A minus.
okay, good. That's
A
a
minus.
good A minus. All right. And if I were to think about seeing if they were having a rematch next
Yep.
year, I would give that 4 stars.
4 stars. Out of how many?
5.
Okay, there you go. Boom, baby. All right. Brunson hit the dagger in game 6. Sent the Pistons home. Okay, quick obituary for the Pistons then?
Yeah, I'll say something on their behalf. It was a foul.
Oh, here we go. What was? Explain it.
Just the slap on the elbow there.
It's kind of a foul.
It was
But
a
hey,
foul,
It was a
but- There were
physical
a lot of
series.
non-calls
There was a
in that
lot
series.
of no
I know,
There's
but
a
you
lot
gotta.
of
You,
fouls
yeah,
that were
okay. I understand, but when a shooter gets hit on the elbow, then in the side like that, it's usually a foul call.
Yeah, fair.
No, sure.
Yeah,
But,
sure.
What are you gonna do?
No, shout out to the Pistons. Honestly, I thought they're like, we all know they're a shocking storyline this season.
Worst to first. Worst to 6th.
And a lot of people
And now
thought the
in the
Knicks just
first.
had the series, but you and I both felt kind of nervous about the Pistons going in. I did, at
I
least.
did say I was fine.
You said
in the
you were
East.
fine in the East, but you also said you were nervous. So,
Yeah, I was. I'm always
and,
nervous.
they took us to 6 games,
Yeah.
and all of them were
good
close.
series.
Can't say the same thing about the Celtics series.
Save it for later.
I'm just saying that's a good team.
Why? Because some of the games weren't close.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
exactly.
We got to save the
That's all I'm
series
saying.
for when we
That's
get to
all I'm
right
saying.
now, we're talking.
I'm not
Knicks,
trying to say anything
Pistons.
about the Celtics. I'm just saying it highlights how far the Pistons have come in a surprisingly short amount of time.
Yeah, 1 year turnaround.
So I'm very excited to see where that team ends up next year.
Shout out to them. Shout out to Malik Beasley, Tobias Harris.
Oh boy. Yeah.
They could
right.
use a second star.
Yeah, they need it in the second.
So
I mean, Ivy was hurt.
next series. You ready?
Yeah, are we done with the obituary?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quick shot.
Quick shot. Cavs Heat.
Cavs Heat, the 1 seed versus the 8 seed. All right, here's my preview on that matchup. I'm previewing them on matchups, right?
Right.
I don't know if I said that earlier, but that's what I'm doing. That was my whole goal for this episode.
But you're grading.
I think we have this segment under control. Danny goes, then I do.
Yeah.
It's like the
Yeah.
ghost
Yeah.
of Christmas
Exactly.
past,
Yes,
present,
there you
and
go.
future.
Yes. Exactly.
I love it.
It's a Christmas series.
Christmas miracle. All right, so we got Cavs Heat.
A Christmas matchup.
I mean, what happened in this series? The Heat couldn't
No,
score.
you can't say
Slaughtered
what
them.
happened. You
Oh,
say
I gotta
the
give my grade.
preview.
It's
My
a
preview
preview,
grade. All right, so the preview was. I mean, yeah, this was not a great matchup. I didn't love it, and then Courtney loved it, so I'll give it a 4 out of 10.
All right, it was an F.
F matchup. I'll give it. If I were to see it again next year, I'll give it 2 stars because I don't know who's going to be on the Heat next year.
Who knows?
Could be way worse.
Yeah, we
It
didn't
could
talk
be
about the Heat
it could be
earlier.
way worse. That's true.
Yep.
Anyway,
There's nothing to talk
It was a
about.
huge rout.
Routes on routes. Cavs advance.
No Butler.
Yeah, he couldn't do much.
It wasn't very warm.
Didn't
in
have any
Miami.
scorers show up.
Yeah, it did kind of show how limited Bam is.
Yeah, and
that's-
we kind of knew this. We kind of
Yeah,
knew
we
this.
did kind of know this.
We just sometimes like to get the idea, like, oh, if this third option became the first option,
I just like every time I
they'll be a good scorer, right?
Every time
Right.
I watch
Not
him,
always.
I'm just like, because I've seen it, we've all seen him go off for like
Yeah,
40.
40
yeah,
point
it's like,
game, yeah.
why can't you do, I don't need 40, but where's like the consistent
The 25.
like 25?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it just, he's shown that he can be an offensive talent. It just like, he just doesn't do it all the time. Or I don't know. The whole threes thing this year with him was an abject disaster. But I don't know. I just feel like he should be better at that than he is. So, you know, and he's kind of advanced in his career. This is probably just who he is.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's why people are third options, right?
Yep.
You don't have every.
Not everyone. There's
It's
only
rare.
one ball.
It's rare to be the person who has everything.
Any sad quotes for the Heels, the Heat fans?
I mean, you know, Hero still looks good.
Yeah, you like the new look.
I like the new look
Hero.
HTH, but
all right,
that was
let's
a
go to the
sad
next
series.
one here.
Sad, especially considering the Cavs, you know, ignominious
Hey,
fall.
Oh my
Going
God.
back. Why do you keep spoiling?
They're stuck in the future.
You keep spoiling what we're about to talk about in a couple minutes.
Okay, well, the next matchup
if it
in
keeps
the
going like this, it's not going to be a couple minutes. It's going to be a lot of minutes.
It's gonna be now.
Let's go. Next
Well,
series.
Next series.
One
Next
thing I want to
series.
say about the Heat. Hey, if they get out of the play-in, maybe they would have had Cooper Flag.
Yeah,
Wow.
I guess.
Wow.
Yeah,
Makes you think they could have won that coin toss.
it's a lukewarm day in Miami.
All right, next series. What you got?
Next series and the final East series.
No.
Nope.
Not is Celtics and Magic.
Well, it's not the last one. But Danny, what's your preview?
All right, here's my preview grade of it.
I psyched you out.
Can I believe we're
You
doing
got
this?
me this. My preview grade of the series was pretty high. I was excited for this matchup. I thought they matched up well. Playing wings. Sure. Two good defensive teams. So I'm going to give it an 8 on the preview grade.
Wow, that's a lot higher than the Knicks
well.
Pistons one.
Yeah, I like this matchup
Okay, all right.
I'm at a C minus.
for how it
turned
actually
out.
turned
Yeah.
out. Yeah, I
It
agree
was
with that.
just fucking ugly.
Yeah,
It was pretty ugly.
It's pretty ugly.
So if I saw it next year, I give it 3 stars out of 5 because I think the Magic will be a little better.
Ooh,
Magic might they'll probably finish ahead in the standings.
You're getting once again. Someone's getting ahead of the
I
script.
didn't do anything.
You guys
I didn't say it this time.
You guys have a script right in front of you and keep
I actually
derailing
don't.
from it. Yeah, there's no script.
Okay.
Listen. Okay, what we got? Yeah, ugly series. It wasn't super pretty to watch.
Yeah, I mean, the Magic put up a valiant effort.
Yeah,
there was
some
one
bunch of
game
close
where they
games.
had Paolo's coach mic'd up, and he was talking to him and being like, "You were born for this," you know, and they won that game.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, "Oh, I'm looking at Paolo a little differently now."
He was good, but he really didn't shoot a good percentage
No,
at all.
I mean,
But
no one
I
really
do
did.
think they're just a horrible. I
have
just
no
don't
offense.
understand how they could be
Yeah.
that bad on offense with
Yeah.
those two guys.
I
don't understand. Like it doesn't like it's one thing if you're the Rockets and you have no like real creator out there.
Yeah.
But you got Bencaro and Franz who can both create a bit, and it's just like guys cannot hit shots and they're like super stagnant, and I don't know.
But they're out Suggs, right? Most of the
is big,
time.
but yeah.
You don't have a guy like
Like
a great
similar-
distributor, even though those
Yeah,
guys
I think they
can
need
create.
shooting.
And shooting.
the shooting,
And
yeah.
the Celtics are good perimeter defenders, no?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so
Oh
that's
yeah,
going to
they're
limit you
both
even
good
more.
defensive teams. Yeah, KCP had a really bad shooting series too. He was supposed to be like
man,
that
he fell off a
3D
cliff
they
this
went
year.
and got. Yeah, he really did. All right.
The final East matchup.
Wait. Final words for the Magic.
Final words for the Magic.
That's it. No.
I think they'll be pretty good next year.
They're gonna be
They'll
good.
Make
They'll
a couple
still be around.
moves. I think they'll be around. I think if they had those guys for the full year, they're not the 7th seed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm excited.
So,
Hopefully full health next year or close to.
Yeah. Yep.
The final matchup and possibly the most contentious rivalry of this first round in the East was the Bucks and the Pacers.
Bucks and Pacers.
Yes,
we already
sirs.
talked about the Giannis drama. Why will there be drama? It's because the Bucks got their asses absolute handed to. But here's my preview grade. Before that, we talk about that. I
Spoiler, future spoiler.
Okay, fine. I'm guilty of it too. All right, you happy?
All right, good. We're all in this together.
But my preview grade. I love this matchup. 9 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
Division rivals. This big ball gate last season. They've been chippy the past couple years since then. Oh, I loved it. Ooh, it butters my toast. As a preview.
As a preview.
As the preview.
Huh. This
Okay.
one's kind of tricky for me because, I mean, that comeback in Game 5 was
What the helly?
utterly absurd. That meltdown, really a meltdown. There were some good games in here. Honestly, I'm going to give it a B because, yeah, the tension was
Great
high.
games, yeah.
And it did feel like it took like everything for the Bucks to just muster being in games. But
Yeah.
in a way, it was kind of entertaining. It's sort of the way Jokic, had to fight his way against the Thunder there. It's just a one guy wrecking crew against a full team out there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, as I said, as I wrote in my article a couple of weeks ago,
Ooh.
for favorite players.
Subscribe on Substack.
Yep. It was just fun to watch Giannis. It's always fun to watch Giannis go down fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just tries so hard. So yeah, it was a really sad meltdown, but I felt like it kind of should have ended in 5. So
Yep. Pacers advanced in 5.
I'll give it a B because
but lots of drama.
the Game 5. That meltdown was very entertaining.
It was insane.
It was crazy.
It was horror.
Yeah,
like
I was.
horror. Oh my god!
I was kind of clutching my pearls.
Yep.
What was your finals prediction in that article, by the way?
What's up?
What was your finals prediction in your Substack?
You mean somewhere in the middle of the season? It wasn't even a preview or post.
Oh, okay.
I had Cavs Thunder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll
Which
get
was
to it,
very
listeners.
reasonable. But guess what? It might happen.
We're not talking about that.
Give us your
My grade
grade
for the future Bucks Pacers is going to be 1 star
1 star.
because the Bucks
Say
are
it.
going to suck next year.
Here's the deal, listeners. Dame was out game 1. The Pacers came back on them. They start talking smack. Dame's like, I'm coming back. Unfortunately, he tore his Achilles like game 2 or 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pacers win in 5. Giannis is open to being traded now, or open to being opened.
Yeah. Open to being open.
Open to being
Open
opened.
to being open.
So yeah,
Not
we don't know
being
what's going on with the
traded.
Bucks. Dame's out next year, most likely.
Yeah.
Giannis may or may not be there. So, I mean, if this is a matchup again, sometimes it just, even this series,
Sometimes
it was
stuff
really
like this
exciting, but it
happens.
feels a little sad to me.
Yep, this
Watching
is one of
it.
those
It was
sad
sad. It was
series.
sad.
Yeah, because I kind
That
of
was
knew,
sad,
I had a
Bucks.
feeling
Yeah.
they were going to get rolled
Like
over.
our last time seeing Giannis in the Bucks uniform is face to face with Tyrese Halliburton's dad.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
yeah, that
arguing
was
with
crazy,
him and
too.
and grabbing whose head did he grab?
Oh, Mathurin.
Matherin's head, and like in
Or
a menacing
was
way.
it Neesmith?
It was Matherin.
One of those guys. Okay.
It was Matherin. Yeah, insane,
Yeah, it was
insane
intense.
work.
Yeah. It's been a
Insane
fun
work.
storyline these past
It was a
few years.
crazy storyline, crazy
Been a lot of fun.
outcome.
Yeah.
What the Halliburton? All right.
All right.
You jumping out west?
Let's go to the west.
west.
Let's go west.
Let's go
Quick
west.
shot. Quick shot.
Okay,
Quick-
let's
quick
start
shot,
with
quick shot.
Nuggets Clippers. Get it out of the way. You know,
I was
yeah.
hoping you saved this one for last.
Classic
Ben.
Clippers.
No.
Classic.
So what happened with the
Clippers.
Nuggets Clippers? All right, first my preview.
Preview.
I keep forgetting my bit.
This is your own bit.
Okay. I was so excited for this bit.
Oh boy. I can see why.
All right, preview Nuggets Clippers rematch of the bubble, rematch of rematches. Come on, Kawhi coming back. I mean, he's been back, but whatever. Harden, Clips, the Yoke might win MVP.
The Renaissance. Don't forget.
Oh, the Renaissance. He was present for it
He was present.
for this series. Listen,
Yeah.
I'm
He
going to give this
shouldn't have
matchup a nice. You know what? I'm going to give it an 8 because I love the Zubac Jokic
That was fun.
matchups.
The Slavic
men.
bros duking it out.
Slavic
Yeah.
monsters.
Croatia and Serbia. That runs deep. All right. What was your series grade, Chuck? Roast of
I'll
Christmas
go
present.
because it went 7.
It did go
Which was
7.
fun.
Yeah.
And I
7.
think it also featured just another classic Harden series, which is just like, at this point, I'm like, wow, how can this keep happening?
I don't.
So like, I kind of
don't
liked
get it.
that. Like, it was classic Clippers too. Like,
Yeah.
they looked like the better team
Yep.
for most of the series, but just of course could not, shut the door. Could not win it when it mattered
Couldn't do
most. It just, the Clippers curse continues. So I don't know. I think that's I don't know. That's kind of
Game
interesting to
7
me. I kind of
Harden.
like it,
Yeah.
And then I wanted the Nuggets to win. I picked the Nuggets in 7. So
Yeah,
You did.
well,
And
you
you called it.
You called it. That's a point.
Yeah, you pretty much summed it up. This is classic Clipper ball. And also the Nuggets are just in their heads, man. I don't know what it is, but I didn't even really tune into that game 7 because I was just like, it's not gonna go well for the Clippers. And I was right.
And
we saw the Shrouds instead.
Yeah, that was the day we saw.
If this happened again next
I
year,
think that's why I wanted to bring up the.
if this happens again next year, I'll give it 3 stars just because I really enjoy both of those teams.
Yep.
I'm happy for the
two
Nuggets.
of your favorite
Two of my
teams.
favorite teams, to be honest. Two of my favorite players of all time. So, great. That good fun series. I'd watch it again and again, even though it would break my heart.
Yeah, Ben.
I just can't get over how classic Harden. He was great at the beginning of the
Great at the
series,
beginning.
too.
So
He had a
good.
couple of good games.
He was really good.
He was decent in Game 6.
I was like-
feel like he
Yeah.
had I was like, Game 6, they'll make a stand, and that's it.
Yeah, I thought they would.
All right, next one.
Next series. Okay, well let's move outward here.
You don't have any final words for your clips, Ben?
Goodbye, Kawhi, my Pookie. Goodbye, Zubats. Goodbye, Terrence. Norman Powell.
Most improved,
Did he win Most Improved?
right?
I don't know.
don't
Has
think-
that been announced?
Did he?
Actually, don't know. Don't quote me. It's. I think it's everything but MVP has been
Dyson
announced.
Daniels.
That I was going to
won
say.
Most
Dyson
Improved.
Daniels.
My
Yeah,
apologies.
it's okay. But he was really good. And bye-bye Harden. I don't know how many more tweaks you can make to this team. You know what I mean?
You can't, but what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? I get it. The window
All
is
your-
closing. But it was a good season. It was a better season than most
yeah.
people predicted.
Oh, yeah.
So I can't be mad at that. We took the Nuggets to 7 games. I mean, so did OKC. So that's something.
Yeah.
What's the spoilers? All right, no, but yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So that's my last word on the Clippers. Sorry.
It was a beautiful last word. Beautiful closing
Are you ready
remarks.
you ready for the next series?
Beautiful service, Ben.
Thank you. Thank you.
Give it to me.
Warriors, Rockets.
Ho! Now this was a matchup preview for the ages. Warriors Rockets. Actually, I didn't even love this matchup at first. I'm gonna give it. You know what? Actually, I'm higher on it than I thought. I'm gonna give it a 6.
Okay. This
I'm
was
gonna give
one
it
of
a
the West
6.
series that got the most hype, I would say,
Yeah,
leading up.
not for me.
It was pretty ugly there, but I
Yeah,
kind
Not
of
for
like
me.
it.
I should have hyped it more. Because guess what?
Yeah.
It was a good series, baby.
It was a good series. A good
baby.
series.
What did it go? 6 or 7?
It went 7.
7, right?
They
Come
were
on.
up 3-1, and then the Warriors had one of those typical,
Oh, yeah.
like, we just don't show up to the...
We just stopped showing
What time's
up.
the game at?
Yeah, right. We're not winning this one tonight.
Yeah,
We
but
gotta
they
go.
kind of won Game 7 kind of comfortably.
Yeah.
And
No, they did. And I always thought they were
there.
going to.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
say I'm gonna give this series a B+. Because it
yeah.
never really felt like Houston was ever gonna win the series. Even after 2 straight losses to tie
Yeah,
up at
I
3
agree.
apiece, I was like, I just don't.
I agree with you.
Their late game offense was just atrocious.
Not
Like
good
so
enough.
much of their offense was just awful.
Yeah.
Awful. I wish I I don't know. I wanted a little more from Şengün in that series that just didn't get. It made me feel really like he had limited.
He had some great first halves in that series, but just kind of disappeared in that third.
And the missed free throw, like the Rockets missed free throws that could have won them games.
Way
like
too many.
It was just a masterclass of losing all the little things to lose the game.
Yeah.
We have a very young team and people sort of competing for stage time and star power and stuff like that. So everyone, can we correct our pronunciation of Schengen, please? I don't think it's Şengün. I'm pretty sure it's Schengen. Just in general, I hear every commentator and podcaster and announcer and stuff saying it, and in my head, I'm always correcting it. And correct me if I'm wrong, please, listeners.
This is the first I hear of this.
But I think they talked about it on TV once, and then like on NBA and TNT, and never went back to it.
Really?
They went right back to Şengün, which I'm sure he's used to at this point, but,
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway, thorn in my
At
side.
least we're away from the sanguine.
Was that an era?
People were saying
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, we learned to say Antetokounmpo. We can do anything.
Some of us.
Some of us. Yeah. But yeah, okay. If I saw this series again next year,
what you got?
the Warriors would be even older. I'll give it 2 stars for expectations. It's funny though. The Warriors did it exactly the same run as they did 2 years ago. This playoffs, 1-7, lost in 5.
They didn't take the Lakers to 6?
No, I don't think so.
I think they did.
Oh, okay.
Wrong.
I stand corrected.
Fair enough.
But it felt similar.
The other way I predicted that Lakers over the Warriors.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that
Ben and Chuck were laughing me out the room at the time, and then.
Wow. What?
Well,
who was laughing?
It doesn't matter. We're talking about stuff from 2 years ago.
Okay, so are you ready for the next team?
Yeah, I need to close
All
remarks for the Rockets. I mean, they'll probably be better next year. They'll probably go get someone, like we said.
I like it. If they have Giannis or whatever, that'd be
I'm not
cool.
even going to cry for them. This was the first year they made the playoffs.
They have the
2
10th
seed.
pick too.
Yeah, they're looking great. They're looking Gucci money.
Yeah, it depends on who they get though, because even like they need a like alpha because
I agree.
And I'm not even sure like KD or Booker is necessarily that guy. Like,
why not?
I think there's moves to be made. I think it's
them
just
play the last couple years. Like, have you seen it? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Booker was not good this year. His shooting fell off a cliff. KD's KD, but he's what 38 years old.
Really old.
I don't know.
Yeah, KD seems too old. I mean, I don't know. You always think if you put a guy in the right system, something will happen. But
Yeah.
I think you're probably right. I'd rather have Booker.
I would too. I mean, I would, but I just don't know if that's enough. I don't Booker still has to create all the offense for a team, like for the the whole offense has to be created. Because I'm like I don't know if how do I say it? Şengün is really like even a 2. Like he feels like a 3 to me on a team. I just don't think he finishes his floaters like well enough at all, and he can't shoot. Like Draymond really left him so limited that I just don't think Booker is like necessarily the greatest enough creator to come in there and fix the whole offensive system.
No, I agree.
The only thing that the other have is just Thompson learns how to shoot a little bit and gets a little bit
star.
Gets just a little bit more because he came on towards the end of that series.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily that one player is going to come in and be the answer and get them over the hump, but I just think it's exciting all the possibilities they could go with here.
That's fair.
I think it's probably they're probably gonna have to make a couple moves.
Yeah,
but I think for now we'll see a move.
Like it's not exactly the same, but OKC a few years ago had interesting young guys.
Yeah,
and Shea was a good young guy, but he wasn't Shea.
And OKC made a couple moves, and we'll get to them.
A lot of shifts, etc. All right, and speaking of OKC, let's go to our next series: Oklahoma City versus
Memphis.
The Memphis Grizzlies.
The Memphis Grizzlies.
See, this is where you
baby.
start forgetting teams. I'm like, huh? They were in the playoffs?
Yes, they were.
The 8th seed.
The
And
AFC. And here's my grade for the
preview grade. Yes.
for this matchup. It's a 2. 2 out of 10. Didn't care for this matchup. Knew
Yeah.
it wasn't going to be nothing.
D minus.
D minus.
D minus for the result.
Is a sweep.
Sweep.
I'll give it a 4 stars for next year, just in case Memphis is really good and this is a fun and like a healthy job and it's fun.
Okay.
But, you know,
I don't hate it.
have high
I'm
hopes.
out.
I don't have high
hate it.
hopes.
I'm just out on the. They got to make a move. I'm out.
Yeah, I agree. But
Yeah, they didn't look good.
I don't hate it.
I just hate watching Memphis play basketball. Like I really do. Like I don't, and I like want to root against OKC, but I hate watching Memphis.
Yeah.
they're so sloppy. They make stupid fouls. This is
Yeah.
just a dumb. Like I think they're kind of a dumb team, to be frank.
Yeah, I don't know where Jaren Jackson went in that series.
Yeah.
He wasn't really there.
Yeah.
And then their team, there wasn't. A few years ago, they had this continuity to them or coherency, I mean to say. But we've never really seen it carried out far into the playoffs.
No.
And whatever they had is now somehow stagnant.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like
Yeah.
it's going anywhere.
I mean, we did a whole special on them,
Yeah,
a
we
whole
did.
ABC special on them when
That's
they
right.
fired Taylor Jenkins.
Yeah. Well,
Should we get to that last series?
let's get to that last series. What was it, Chuck?
Memphis.
It is the Timberwolves and the Lakers.
Oh, Ant-Man, Randall Man,
The young versus the old.
the new KD, Wolves in 5.
What was your preview?
What was your pick?
Preview pick.
For the matchup. I hated this matchup,
Oh, yeah.
but you know the star power was there, so I'll give it a 5. I'll give it a 5.
Yeah, A plus.
happy with the result. And by the way, I'd just like to say I was the only one who.
Nope,
So
not true.
you were
not
not.
true.
You were not.
I was the only one going for the Lakers.
Danny picked
Danny's the
Lakers
only
in
one going for
5.
the Lakers.
So
and
you
we
guys can
picked
both
Timberwolves
rub it in
6.
my face.
Oh, okay. But I did say the Lakers' illusion would shatter.
Yeah, I could give you credit for that.
Thank you. You're right.
No one
But,
really had illusions for them.
What?
Well, I'll speak to myself. I kind of knew the Lakers were going to lose, but I just had to go Lakers in 5.
Sure.
For the memes, baby. No better meme out there on the planet.
Sure.
Can never trust this
Sure.
guy.
No.
He's never genuine.
No, they have no center. I knew they were going to lose.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it showed all their flaws.
Oh, yeah, sure they all.
I guess I'll give it a 5 stars for next year.
5 stars for
It's got
next year.
star power.
It's got
Luka
great star power.
and-
If the Lakers somehow get better, we'll get
They
a
will.
center, and they probably will.
Yeah.
And then we got Luka and Braun and probably Cooper Flag. So
Now, what?
somehow.
Now, my
they're gonna get
question
him.
for you.
Yeah.
Was this the last time we saw LeBron play the game that we so much love?
No.
I think we're going to know.
Absolutely not.
when
He's
we-
playing.
It's the last time. He's going to play.
He's going to play.
Why was Ant guarding him like he was a defensive back?
I love that. I love it. Because, yeah.
It was great. It
Get off
worked.
the court. Oh, man.
It worked.
Got to wear him down.
That was
Yeah.
so ridiculous.
It was
the way
so
he was
ridiculous.
pushing. I love it though. That's what I love about this Wolves team is like they really just don't seem to.
They
The
don't seem
opponent does not
fazed.
faze them at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah,
They-
that's true.
And like
They can only
Ant-
phase themselves.
Ant always thinks he's the best guy on the court.
As he should. As
And,
he should.
I mean, he had some monster halves there.
Oh, he went crazy in this
And
series.
I thought that game 5 was really impressive because I thought the Lakers played really
Yeah.
well at times in
Yeah.
this series, and
they did.
and it just didn't
I think
matter.
besides the first game and like maybe game 3 or something. I don't know. Most of the games were close.
Yeah, and the Wolves were just better.
Yeah, the Wolves
So,
were just better.
I mean, it's
Gotta
just
give
deeper
credit where
roster,
credit's
so-
due.
For
Yeah,
sure.
way deeper.
You know who
better
was
team.
pretty disappointed about this series was our LA correspondent.
Oh,
What she had
I'm
to say.
So sorry.
Oh, you know, I can't represent.
Does she have an
my exact
eulogy
words.
for us?
Yeah, she was just like, "What happened to the Lakers?"
She had him in the conference finals,
Yeah,
or maybe the finals,
Yeah.
Or
and then
maybe
the
the
finals.
finals.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
Conference-
sorry, no, you're not this
true.
year. But she did call that they would be a top 3 seed. And that was not.
We gotta give
correct.
credit what's
Gotta
credit's
give credit
due.
for that.
Wow,
So,
yeah.
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 Wow.
Our Lakers correspondent might be a tad biased, but they do know ball.
Aren't we all? But they do know ball.
Yeah,
all right,
they do.
Are we out of the first round?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
we're done with the rest.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank
Yep.
God.
All right, second round.
Good luck.
All right, we're gonna do the same thing in the second round, but we can have a long. We could talk about it. It doesn't have to be quick. We could do whatever we want. We don't have to do the same thing. I actually don't care. Go
whatever you want.
But I mean, Ben's gonna do the same thing and pick a series for us.
Okay.
That's why.
Well, let's start in the West.
Okay,
How about
I like
that?
it.
All right.
Stay in the West.
Let's go with the one that just ended. Let's go OKC Denver.
Round
I know
two.
that's a big fat one, but fuck it.
Fight.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
There's only half as many
OKC
series in this one.
Thunder, the 1 seed. Denver Nuggets. What seed were they? 5? 4? 4 seed. Who? MVP candidate versus MVP candidate. Who will win? Whoever wins the series wins MVP. No, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know about
It
that.
felt that way.
But it felt like that. at
I did
times.
not actually feel that way
didn't feel
at
that way.
all.
Oh,
No. I actually felt like
neither.
Jokic definitely should have been the MVP. That's how I felt at the end of
Yeah.
the series.
Yeah. No,
like,
I feel
and
you.
watching the games because there's just no. If you switched the teams of those guys,
Yeah, it's insane.
Jokic's Thunder would wreck.
They
Wreck
wouldn't lose.
Shay's
They wouldn't lose again.
Nugs.
I don't
fair
think.
point. It's a fair
Maybe they
point.
lose one game.
Oh my God.
Sure.
Jokic is
Sure.
Thunder. Can you imagine?
I can't.
They
You
would
put it
kill.
that way. Yeah.
They would kill, and that's not fair to just switch teams like
It's
that.
not
because
fair.
course, of
It's
course.
not the
different
whole
operative
thing
system.
because
but
they're
generally,
built around
like
them.
I felt like Shea was Shea. You know, he was great. He was awesome. So it's not, I'm not taking anything away from him. At times, like he was the only offense that they had as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I just think the circumstances under which Jokic had to perform in this series were
Extraordinary.
It was extreme. It was
Yeah.
extreme.
So I think he worked miracles to keep them in this series because
yeah.
and even if Gordon doesn't pull that hammy, I don't know. They could have won the other day if Gordon doesn't pull that hammy. Yeah. It's like one guy on this team means him especially Gordon means so much, just to have an above average player out there is like, because when they're throwing just Strother and even MPJ out there at times, and they don't have any guys to play.
Watson and Braun, they had to lead on heavily.
Well, Braun was great. Braun was great.
Braun was great, and Watson had some ups and downs. He was great at times.
But offensively, he's like an absolute zero.
Zero.
Yeah. And I don't know. Yeah. Watching the
they had
Nuggets,
to lean on them.
I feel like they have one less guy than the other team constantly.
Yeah.
They got like one good run from Porter,
Westbrook.
one good game, one
he
good
was-
Westbrook game, one good. They were using
Oh my
every
God.
ounce of like, we're going to just randomly get a run from one player and pray to stay in this series.
And that Strawford run was
I mean, that was
fun.
they were going to lose that game.
Unless he did that, and then
Absolutely.
And that was like just a miracle.
Yeah, they kept getting.
I was like, I could not believe that. That might have been the most shocking, like 5-minute, his like little 8-run sprint, shocking 5-minute sprint of any game this entire playoffs.
Yeah.
Is when he was hitting those shots.
Crazy.
It was insane.
And they, before this, they had the Gordon dunk in the Clippers series.
Gordon,
And they had the
several
Gordon
buzzer,
3.
Yep.
Multiple buzzer beaters.
Gordon was huge.
It was huge.
Huge in this play.
And,
Gordon was kind of the second best player on the team.
Kind
of,
Because even Murray was up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
He still doesn't look like the Murray from a few years ago.
No, it does not.
Even though he had a flu game, which was awesome.
But it's also
It was a good food game.
Yeah, it's also tougher for him out there when they have such little
They
shooting
have less
to
around
do.
them.
That's true.
I just think, I think if their whole team was healthy and they had just one more like knockdown shooter, I think they win. I think they win the series. Even though I still don't think they'd be as talented as the team across the way.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
But just based on their experience, and I mean, you're saying Jokic was the best player on the field.
I think he was clearly
Jokic.
the best player on the court for the entire series.
Entire postseason.
I mean, So what's the path forward for the Nuggets now? If you want to get into that,
Any eulogies? The path forward? I don't know.
They need
don't know.
guys.
They just need
like
someone.
real guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you look at it, it's going to be hard to get rid of Porter because he just hasn't,
Done
he's
much.
Injured. I know he had the shoulder thing.
and now
this
he
whole
has
series.
the shoulder thing makes everything worse in terms of trading him.
Yeah, I mean, and his contract is pretty big, and I don't know, just don't know who's taking him back. So you need to find some bargain bin role players.
Yeah.
Like, just guys who can play. Because, like, you know, this is the shortest rotation in the entire league. It feels
it feels
like
really
at times.
it's really ragged.
It's just guys who can shooters at least, guys who can knock down a shot or two in some bigger spots. So I don't know who that is. I think it's going to be very hard for them to get those players, but they need to flip around this formula a bit because it's just not enough. And I just think if they had one more like impactful piece, and like another just random depth guy who's not Russell Westbrook who comes into the game and it's like it just falls apart. Like that game 5 in OKC, they were winning that first quarter. They were up by like 10, and Russ came in the game, and then the whole game fell apart for them. So it's just two hit or miss. You can't rely on that. And so I don't know how they get these guys because I don't think that they have a lot of leeway to do it. But they have to be creative and figure out a way. Of course, we don't really know what the GM situation is going forward. So
But they're at least they're conscious that something has to change.
Yeah. But it did feel like infighting.
Yeah.
Infighting.
Hey, shout out to Alex Caruso, man.
Alex Caruso
locked up Jokic.
Saved. Well, no, the whole team did. If you watch those possessions, it's like
it's a team. Yeah.
It's like 3. It's like 3 against 1. If he had any space at all, he would cook him. But it just they were able to just crowd. There were so many possessions where it was like just. He can't even like move an elbow or spin or make a move because he's like surrounded by like an entire wall.
Right.
And there's just no outside threat to speak of. Yeah. Right. So it was just rough. But Alex Caruso saved the Thunder's ass like 3 times in this series.
He really did.
He was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
He was amazing. Yeah. There's a reason why they won the series. Yeah, I mean, that's the difference, right?
Yeah, that is.
This
like, Alex Caruso would be great on Denver. He would be.
He would.
He'd be so good. I mean, he'd be good anywhere, but just his athleticism, the way he plays so smart, the steals, he'll hit. He's the guy I trusted the most to hit a big shot for them. I did not want Caruso shooting the ball when I was, rooting for the Nuggets in this series.
Yeah.
Caruso has a history of being great in closeouts.
Yep.
He does.
So
any boo-hoos for the Nugs?
Yeah, I would say the times the Nuggets won were like some of the most fun experiences I had these playoffs. Just watching.
I think, and I think part of that is it feel like just watching them, you just start to be like, oh, this team is so undermanned. Like,
I feel bad. You're just watching these guys like shoulder everything.
Yeah.
It's kind of like last year's Knicks.
It's like, Jokic is taking the break, and then they just lose whatever lead he built, and then they're down 5, and they're like, Jokic is getting back in. That happened every single quarter. But
they rested him game 6, and that was the Strawford
run. Yeah, that was the one run
the one
when
time.
they rested him to figure out
that they didn't have to rush him back in, and they're like, oh, we could just take a couple more minutes, Jokic. We got this guy. Strawford. He's making buckets out here.
Well, that game 7 got away from them when they started that second quarter without Jokic or Murray, which was just, what are you doing, Adelman?
It's tough.
Yeah, come on, Murs.
He had to come in last minute.
Yeah, I think it's kind of sad because I just feel like, if this guy just had a little bit more
time,
help, like just a few more players, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think if they had gotten out of this, with everyone healthy, of course, that's always the thing. But like, I don't know if they had been able to beat the Thunder, I don't know. I think they'd be the favorite.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think they beat the Clippers. If they
could have gotten through, even though the T-Wolves kind of own them this year, I just feel like they'd find a way.
I agree.
So, I mean, they probably would have broke down eventually. It's what happens when you have to play like one guy like 40-something minutes a night, Some hamstring thing happens like that, And
the T-Wolves have so many options and so much physicality.
Yeah.
But
that's what happens.
Speaking of other series... What's next?
What's next?
Okay, Timberwolves.
And the Warriors.
T-Wolves,
Dubs. Am I still doing the preview? I don't know.
We dropped that shit.
Sure, this was a fine preview.
Fine out of 5.
All right, what do I got? I mean, yeah. Game 1, Dubs get up. T-Wolves just looked non-existent that game 1.
That one was the worst I've watched.
It was
a
so
basketball team.
bad.
It's
It was so bad. But Steph gets hurt game 1.
Yeah.
T-Wolves did not take advantage of it at all, but it didn't matter.
Yep.
That game 1, because they were so bad in that game 1.
Yep.
It didn't matter. They won 4 games in a row. Steph wasn't able to come back in that game 6. Oh, what if Steph comes back? Ooh, then we have a series. And you know what? Maybe if they have Steph, they win the series. Who knows?
Maybe. I mean, I didn't think actually Minnesota played particularly well in any game this series.
Not really.
But to be fair, the Warriors are a really good defense with or without Steph. You know, when you have Butler and Peyton Jr. and Draymond running around out there, like, it makes kind of sense that their Timberwolves offense would sort of struggle against this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just an unfortunate Curry injury, but also he's 37 years old. Like, this is the kind of shit that happens to old players. You know, Butler was kind of, injured throughout the series. He didn't play super, they kept calling him out for not being aggressive on the broadcast, which I agreed with, but also that's kind of Jimmy Butler for you.
Yeah.
At times, right? Like, it's so weird with him. Sometimes it's like, oh, he looks unstoppable and he's scoring 40, and the next game he's scoring 14.
Yeah. Well,
and he takes like 8 shots.
He's also old.
I know, but
the team is old. Yeah.
But yes, he does have that back and forth.
Yeah.
But I think we're getting more of the back and less of the forth these days.
I think it would have been. Yeah, I mean, Steph is just he's a gravity to himself, so it's just impossible to know what would have happened. But I think it would have been competitive, and honestly, I think we got to give a shout out because Julius Randle might be the 4th best player in the world right now. He bullied Draymond like I've never seen anyone bully Draymond in this series, which is just crazy because Draymond's still a fantastic defender.
I mean, he looked amazing against Sengun and all those Rockets, but
Randle took it to him. He was 25.2 points per game, 6 rebounds, 7.5 assists on 53% from the field.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, he was just efficient, man.
So efficient.
In a postseason where all the physicality goes up, everyone's best scorers, number 1 options, were not as efficient as they were in the regular season. Randle was so efficient,
which is
and one other guy, but we'll get to him.
Maybe the most shocking development of the entire playoff.
Yeah,
for a player is him actually performing like this.
Playoff Randle.
He seems to have found his groove within like the offense too. Like it doesn't feel like he's holding off the ball, like he's holding on to the ball, like he's making really good decisions out there. It's so hard to believe that it's going to continue, but like he's been this way for 2 series, and he was going at LeBron, and then he was going at Draymond back-to-back series. Like, it's hard to believe.
So,
crazy.
How do you see this playing out if the cat trade doesn't happen? Because that's a big storyline. We have both teams who participated in that trade in the Final Four. And by the way, all people who were on the Knicks the last 3 years are now in the conference finals.
Not R.J. Barrett.
Hartenstein.
Not R.J. Barrett.
I've been saying every team has representatives. Yeah, R.J. Barrett
and Quickly.
I'm not saying all the Knicks.
Let's save the Knicks stuff for the Knicks. How about that? All right. No, it's obviously a win-win trade. Obviously,
it's gotta be.
It's a win-win trade. I have no other thoughts other than I don't know what this team looks like if they still have.
I don't know if Randle keeps playing like this. Then I think, I like Minnesota better than they would be if they had Towns, because as much as Towns is awesome, he's still being erratic.
I know. Yeah.
Well, we'll get to it.
Yes. I was saying is everyone criticized the cat trade for Minnesota's perspective.
Well, be specific, Ben. Talk your shit.
Well, you guys were like, if you made it to the conference finals last year, if you want that specificity, but it wasn't just you guys, but including you guys said they made it to the conference finals. They should just run it back. This is the farthest they've ever gone. Why blow it up now?
We did say all that.
You know, and I felt a little differently, and I'm not right about everything, but I felt pretty vindicated.
Well,
by this one because they're in the conference finals again. We'll see.
We'll see. If Randall comes undone, then
he may come undone. They may run up against a juggernaut.
This version of Randall has just never really been seen before, besides for maybe a few regular season stretches.
No,
he had a great year.
Regular season.
He had a great regular season year. I know
he never had a postseason
in those playoffs.
I like when I like how he's talking lately. Like he was like, I wanted to use that as motivation. Of course, he's going to do that because he's an athlete. But I like him coming out and saying that.
Well, he might just need the right environment, and he seems to like his teammates.
Supremely confident.
He's very confident, which is nice. In New York, he always seemed a little stressed.
Right environment. Yeah, because he was the star,
he's the number one guy
for
all this pressure.
The biggest city,
the basketball mecca. Yeah. No, I agree with you.
But definitely, comfortable in his role. He doesn't have to be that guy with Ant.
No.
Yep.
And the team's just getting along, man. It's just great vibes.
Yeah.
I gotta give a big shout to my guy, Mike Connolly.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, he's 6 foot. Did you see? He was mic'd up. Him or Paz was mic'd up. And before one of the games, the tip off, they're like, they said you're 6'4". And Mike Connolly's like, who? You? And he's like, no, you. And Mike Connolly's like, me? No shot. He's 6 foot. He plays defense like he's 6'7". He's still out here
and
doing
he's,
this.
36, 37?
He's 38. He got drafted 2008.
Wild.
Or 9. He was either in
he played against Horford in one of those championship games in college.
Wow. Yeah. He's
on the Greg Oden.
Really,
on the Greg Oden Ohio State teams.
Of the late 2000s NBA players that we still have around, KD, Steph, Russ, Harden, he never gets talked about.
Yeah.
He was the first huge max contract when the salary cap first went up. Everyone was like, what? He doesn't have an all-star. Why is Memphis giving him all this money? Because he's Mike Conley. He's got the best smile in the NBA. That's
he does have a great smile.
That's why. And he's still here.
He's still here.
And he's playing great defense.
And he's Teoscar Hernandez's brother.
We'll see. Well, the Warriors didn't really have anyone to go at him with.
Yeah. And in fairness, I thought this game one when Steph was still playing.
I think... Also, I just think I love Jaden McDaniels. Honestly, Ant's right. I love that guy. He's got a little bag now. That's he's improved, and he doesn't make as many dumb fouls as he used to, and his length and activity is just awesome. He's just a long skeleton.
Long
oh my god,
yeah, for sure,
long arms. So I think this team's much improved. So that's good.
They're good.
You want to do any outlook on Warriors in the future?
Warriors an outlook on the Warriors.
It just feels wrong, but
they're excited to run it back.
Sure. Okay, run it back then.
Kerr, Steph, Draymond, they're excited. Jimmy.
Next year, it feels like some injury is going to happen, and they're going to be right back in the spot. It happens every year now. And I just don't know if the West is getting even better.
Possibly getting better.
Are they going to be on the inside of that bracket again? I do not know.
It's going to be tough.
If you're trading Kuminga, what do you want?
The thing about that is he's a restricted free agent.
Oh. They're not going to get much for him.
They didn't extend him, so it would be like a sign and trade situation, or they keep him or just let him walk. Let another team take him. They seem interested in him now. Yeah, of course.
Well, the thing is, he plays. They said they weren't playing him because he sort of plays the same role as Jimmy, which is not
sure. It doesn't tell you the whole story, but
I felt like at times they could have used his just straight athleticism, and they just choose not to.
Yeah, I agree.
And I agree. I don't think he's a flawed player, but I also think he really should maybe just go to a team because they've been just flirting with this guy for ever.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Could they get... it's not going to be a proper trade, though, so it's going to be seconds.
Yeah.
So I don't know though, but you can't also pay him in this economy.
And then you have to pay him. They might have to pay him. They're kind of like just stuck with either keeping him or getting just a couple
they do
measly
still have
pieces.
some draft capital though. Like
they could make a move. They could,
but also their guys are old, so it's like you're
tough.
mortgaging the future. So
Yeah.
Do you think Steph?
they should have made a move a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
They should have made. Yeah, this 2 timeline thing.
never really
It's just
worked
a
out.
disaster.
Yeah.
Like they won a championship, so they were like, "Oh, it worked."
Okay, we could use our guys.
It was like not really. Like they didn't win because of that. Like
Not
those
really,
guys
no.
played, but that's not
But they
why
traded
they
for
win.
Wiggins,
Wiggins was a piece of that for sure,
and he wasn't
But-
in there.
But Wiggins
like,
wasn't
him.
2 timeline.
Oh
He's
no, the
That's what I'm
older
saying.
version.
Yeah,
he was
the old timeline.
There was like the Whiteside, Moody, Kuminga,
and then he
timeline.
had a serious regression, Wiggins, and like you're stuck.
Yeah, they
with
could have
kind
won
of an
without any of those
underwhelming
3 young
bench.
guys. Is what I'm saying.
And Moody was an absolute train wreck in the playoffs. After he played like decently in the first part of that Houston
Houston series, he was
then
good.
he just was gone.
And when they needed him to step
and-
up, when
and he
Steph
looked
went down, he just couldn't do much.
So that's kind of disappointing because he's kind of a guy who works in their system. Like they like to play him over Kuminga, but like he couldn't make any of those shots they needed him to make. Which just like he was good down the stretch of the regular season for them. So that's a little disappointing, and it's another young player it does not seem to be working out for him, and that's kind of the theme of these old teams is those it's hard to find those pieces to fill around. And you want a young guy to do it, but it's hard to get it.
Also, now these old guys are on kind of bloated contracts that take up all the cap space.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Do you think Steph or Draymond retires with the Warriors, ride into the sunset?
I think they kind of both do at this point. Yeah,
at this point,
yeah. I thought there was that one season or postseason where I thought Draymond was out of there. I knew one of Draymond or Clay was out of there.
Yeah, that contract.
I thought it would because Draymond was coming up, it would be Draymond. And then it being Clay. Clay kind of got nudged out at the end of there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I didn't see coming, but whatever. I think they have one last ride in them. That being said, what the ride entails, I'm not sure. I think they'll be in the mix next year.
It's not impossible.
I think they could be in the mix, but I also
but there might be a huge mix in there. There's going to be a bunch of mixes.
Yeah, I could
mixing it up.
Literally, most possibilities I think are available to them. Except I'd be really surprised if they made like a really deep run.
Yeah.
I could see them losing in this round again next year.
Yeah.
But I just think it's going to be hard for them to go through an entire season and then we get regular season Jimmy.
Yeah. It's just going to be tough. It's going to be tough. None of these young guys are doing it for me.
So they need a little
and if
influx
Steph
of
just
talent,
misses like 4 games, they're just done. They're cooked. No matter who they're playing in the playoffs.
Right.
I could see them bottoming out. I could see them being in the play-in. I could see them being like a competitive first round
seed.
I could see them being 5 seed, but kind of, just falter sort of like they did this season.
Yeah,
I could something unfortunate happens and bam, you're done. They have no leeway.
No very
leeway.
Little wiggle room.
But they're excited to run it back.
Yeah. Good for them.
I mean,
they found their joy.
Find
again.
your joy. Live, be
they
happy,
have to
ride into
find
the
their
sunset.
joy.
If you get somewhere, you get somewhere. If not, enjoy the journey.
Why not?
Shall we move on to the East?
Let's do it, baby.
All right. We're going to start with the other series, which would be Cleveland and Indiana. The Pacers and the Cavs. Yes,
Pacers
sir.
and
Pacers
Cavs,
winning 5.
baby. Pacers winning 5. The other...
And that was one where I predicted it.
Yes.
You had Pacers in
Indiana.
5?
Yeah, well, not in 5,
Oh,
in
okay.
6.
And 6.
But I was the only
okay,
one
I'm not
picking
mad
it.
at that.
Thank you.
I love it. The other player, I almost did. I almost did.
I heard it coming.
I almost did. The other player, I told my mom that story.
Yeah,
today
I'm sure
or
she
yesterday.
loved that story.
She didn't love it. She didn't. Courtney didn't love it.
Courtney love it?
Damn.
But no, the other player, the most efficient first option in this postseason is one Tyrese Halliburton.
Hell yeah.
What the Halliburton? I mean, he doesn't shoot that much, so that helps. But what can I say about the guy?
He was epic in this series.
He's fucking awesome.
He hit the shots that count. That's for
He
sure.
hits the shots that matter.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I love watching Halliburton. I
I
didn't
do
realize
too.
he gets all this hate. Like, 'cause I didn't realize that was the thing.
Most overrated.
Yeah, or by the players who said that.
Yeah, players and
Okay,
GMs and coaches and
it
stuff.
was
right?
like
Yeah.
it was
It was mostly players.
that was a player survey.
It was a player survey.
But it was like there was only 85 people who responded.
Yeah,
so it was
it's
like
not, it's
it
not
was,
like Tam and
so
KD said this.
So it was like
could have been
it was
fucking
14
AJ Green
players.
and
Yeah.
fucking
14
Kyle Kuzma.
players out of 85 that said it.
yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
But still,
and they're probably all disgruntled.
But a lot
Bucks.
of internet heads and talking heads have said stuff.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I meant more so.
Well,
Also,
he-
the media.
To be fair, he also has games where he's just completely not there.
Disappears. Yeah.
oh yeah.
But less of that in this series.
yeah,
This
and he had a
postseason
rough
run's been
start to the
special.
season, but came back from the injury, kind of rounded out. It definitely will drop a
Trenton
stinker.
Walford said he's having a down year, and then that's Pacers
just-
scruffle.
Oh
Lit the
yeah. Wow.
I was watching like all these like.
True.
Anyways, who cares? Yeah. So what you guys got? What's your deep dive here?
Well, you sounds like you were on the deep dive. What did you learn from what you were watching?
That was it. Halliburton is the fucking man.
I mean,
Let's get. That's the Cavs were banged up. Ish.
Yeah, you have to make that caveat.
I don't know.
But I personally,
I
I thought the Pacers would win the series,
But-
with the healthy Cavs.
Valid. I mean,
I'll give you Garland. You
Garland.
know, not quite right, but he also played.
He did play.
They did.
He did
These guys did
play.
play. They missed a game.
And also, the Cavs were like awesome without guys this season.
That's
and I
the
know
thing.
it's a different animal, but like also, and I know Mobley was bumped up. It just still feels like you should, even with all that shit happening, you should not lose this series in 5 games. Like
I
that's
agree.
just that is a absolute catastrophe.
Even
So-
the Celtics, with no Tatum.
Wait. Get this. Save it for the
say
next
it. You can
series.
say it. It's
They
one
went
line.
to
It's
6
one-
games
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
without, and they didn't have their best player.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Right. Cavs were a little banged up. However, no one else showed up besides Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah,
right,
But this
yeah.
was
And the banged up guys did play.
Where was Ty Jerome? Like, where's your?
Don't get me wrong. Love me some Ty Jerome. He's from New York.
For sure.
But he disappeared the series. He was great against the Bucks.
I just personally I don't see Allen as like a big postseason guy.
No.
it's tough. I mean, he's just a big though. Like,
Mobley
he's
had
just a big-
disappointing games.
But in the regular
Yeah.
season, he's supposed to be this better than we thought big.
he's just a rim protecting big though. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not like he's a big deal or anything.
Right. So
Yeah.
that,
He's just
is
really
that going
good
to
at
win you
the
the
thing.
games?
I
It
don't
falls
know.
more
I
on
don't think
Mobley.
Finals
it
with
more
the
on
Celtics.
Mobley. Like 100 times more on
falls
Mobley.
more on
than
Mobley.
Allen.
Mobley had an amazing season.
I mean, Mobley was 18, 10, and 1.8 assists this series. So it's just not enough.
Yeah, it was like
It's like
23 or 24 in the regular season.
yeah, it's just not enough. Like he kind of, especially with Garland out, like that guy has to be your
has
second
to step
star.
up, yeah.
He has to step up. And this is the thing that I was also kind of worried about with the Cavs is like when they get in a dark spot, how are they going to react? Are they going to trust what they've been doing all season
Yeah.
long?
The
Or are
that
they going to
ball
go
movement.
into Donovan Mitchell, please save us mode?
Yeah.
And they
Guess
did it.
what? That's what they want to.
41% usage rate in this series.
Yeah.
He was at 30%. That's not a winning formula
Too
when
high.
one guy has
Yeah.
to do all that stuff. And you could sort of tell like he ran out a little bit of
ran out of
steam in
gas.
that game 5.
He ran out
But
of
he
gas.
gave it everything.
He
Absolutely.
You know,
it's a
yeah.
wonderful effort.
We can't fault this on Mitchell for me personally.
I'm not
No, I don't fault much.
The game
fault
plan.
Mitchell.
I'm
not-
with you on the strategy
Yeah.
of just okay. This going
it's
rough.
more
You can't
fun-
win. Yeah.
It's
Now
not.
we have
It's
to
not
lose.
on Mitchell. Mitchell is a part of the team, so it's a function of the team.
Yeah.
Like, but the fact that like, he had to do that means A, other guys weren't doing it,
Yep.
or like B, they didn't trust themselves to do it.
Yeah.
Which I think Mitchell maybe deserves a little blame for, but like it's still like he's the guy that they're turning to save their ass. So
Yeah.
I'm not like it definitely is more on the team. I'm not pushing that on. I don't think he was
No.
a ball hog, but the
No.
fact that they're like, hey, please come save us, like that's dire. Like that, I just don't
I
think
agree.
that's how they
Yeah.
won games this entire year.
No.
Was not in that way. And I felt like, because he's great, but also he's not that good. No player is that good. 40% something usage.
Yeah.
It's just for a team that moved the ball so well, all that junk kind of just stopped.
Yeah.
And I get it.
That's what happened in the postseason.
Pacers are feisty. Yeah.
Yep.
But the thing is, can you trust yourself to do those things enough? And they just didn't. And I think that was the big fault this time around with this failure.
You kind of have to impose your will, right? The Cavs, when I would watch them in the regular season, I would be like, oh, they're kind of floundering at the beginning, and then they'd get into their
haymaker.
Hit, and just like at the same pace, like the very casual.
They were awesome. They really had a great year.
But I'm saying the Pacers' energy, the way they responded to it, they were completely shocked almost by that first game, which was a big comeback, right?
I was saying, like, I mean, to go from the Heat to playing that Heat team to playing the Pacers is just like it's like it's an absurd jump in talent.
Yeah,
right. And you probably feel really good about yourself going in. You're just like, we'll keep doing what we're doing.
But really, where they lost this series is game 2. Like, if you honestly look back on it, like it felt like game 2 they lost that on that. They couldn't get the rebound from Halliburton, and then he stuck the 3-pointer to shock them.
That was ridiculous.
So
that was in overtime too, right? Or was that the Bucks game?
No, I think it was the Bucks game was in overtime. Okay. But it was like the same kind of shit.
It was the same scenario basically.
And they just blew it. And then and then they get one in Indiana, and then they lose the other one, and then it just feels like when they came back for the game, the Pacers just kind of broke them, and they just melted.
Yeah, the last game was kind of brutal to watch.
Yeah, but I think like if they pull off that game 2 and they come back down 2-2, I think it's just a far more confident bunch than what they showed. And the Cavs could have won the series, but I just you can't lose games like that. They just crush your season.
No, I agree completely.
A game like that swings a series. That's what it does.
Yeah.
Like, it's brutal. Like that, if you think about it, like that Nuggets game 1, like the only reason they're in the series against the Thunder is because they absolutely stole game 1.
Game 1.
Right? It set them on the course for that.
Yes.
And it proves you can kind of beat these guys. I just felt like that was so deflating, and then they go down 3-1, and it's just, I don't know. They didn't show up for that game.
That's the kind of thing you need to respond to as well.
It is, but when you haven't been through the wars like that, you don't know how. So you can't blow games like that.
But like the Thunder blew their first game against the Nuggets, and they came back.
Absolutely.
And they're not.
But the Cavs won after that game.
Sure, yeah, but.
They won.
But you're saying it was extremely deflating, and it's like, how do you respond to that within the series beyond one game?
It's just tough because I think strategically you have the game 1, and now you're forcing Indiana to make adjustments. But now they've won the game, and they can still make the adjustments. So it's just like,
it snowballs.
It's just different. I don't know, especially to lose that second game like that. Whereas it's just crushing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I just think the Pacers are honestly awesome. They're deep, they're feisty, deep. They move the
versatile,
rock. Yeah. Versatile, can do everything. So, and I also thought like the defense for the Cavs has kind of slipped over the back half of the season. It wasn't very good. And I think that's, again, we always come back to this, but 2 small guards is never worked.
Never worked in the postseason.
Never worked in the postseason.
Past the second round.
And it's tough because they don't really have a wing. Like, they don't.
I guess Portland made the Western Conference Finals that one year.
And got swept.
It got they basically didn't make it.
Yeah, basically. Well, so. All right, before we move on from the Cavs, well, 1, any final words, and 2, how you feel about that Mike Strus text.
What was the Max Strus text?
In game 5, he was like, if you're not ready to fight, don't show up. He sent a group text to all the Cavs.
He's been through those wars.
And then, of course, the media hyped it on the sidelines.
He looked like he cared out there.
Well, he's been through wars.
He's been through the wars. He knows. But he also went 0 for 8 in 3.
Yeah, well, that's also a Max Strus thing to do.
But he had the emotion was there.
Yeah.
The passion was there, but it wasn't able to do much with it.
Yeah, I don't know how they like.
Shout Max Struess.
I don't know what they really do going forward. I just think like
we
you
got?
bring it back and take another shot at it. You won 64 games. You were awesome.
Yeah.
Can you learn from this and just
they
be back?
extended a lot of these guys, committed to them. Yeah,
Maybe
run it back.
get more from Hunter next year. I don't know.
Yeah, Hunter was a good pickup, and
He was kind of trash.
He was kind
though,
of
in this
bad.
series.
He's
Yeah, but
kind of bad.
maybe he needs more reps with the team.
Maybe.
No, yeah, of course he could. That doesn't mean he's going to be bad next postseason. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Poor Cleveland fan base.
All right, let's get it over with.
Let's
All right, let's go to the final series of the semis. The final series of the semis. The New York Knicks versus the Boston Celtics. Well, what happened in this series, guys?
Well, we were at a Yankee game. It was game 2.
Oh, yeah, we can finally talk about this Yankee game.
Yeah, we were at a Yankee game. It was going into overtime. It was game 2. The Knicks had won a shocking upset in game 1. And we're surrounded by boisterous New Yorkers. Charles is there in the same shirt he's wearing today.
Wow.
Which is not Celtics.
But it is green.
It's New England.
It's New England as well.
The New England Cougars.
The Vermont
Catamounts.
Catamounts.
So I just guessed. Too dark out there. Yep.
And, all the Yankee fans, of course, are watching the Knicks game 2 on their phones.
I was
People
trying
start
not to
going
watch
crazy.
it.
I was peeking
Goddamn
over.
delay.
I was
Let
peeking
the
over
listeners
Charles's
know
shoulder.
I was trying to stay out of the loop
Danny was trying to stay
in
uninformed.
solidarity with my other two co-hosts here.
Well,
You didn't have to
Charles
do
was
that.
watching
No one
the
asked
game.
me to do that.
Charles was watching the game.
I realized Charles was watching
I
the game next
understood
to
where
me.
I was.
Yeah, and I was like,
I'm like, okay, I guess I'll look over
the
their
Celtics
shoulder.
got this. It's game 2 in their home court. We're down like 18 or whatever. And the
was
Knicks
not
made a
looking good.
miraculous comeback for the second time in a row. And
Game
took
1 and Game
3.
2.
Game 1, Game 2. Sorry, didn't take Game 3. Took the first 2 games, shockingly. Even after that, I was like, all right, the Celtics will get one. This will be a very different series. They got one.
Well, let's hear about Charles' perspective being
No,
the
let's
belly,
hear about your perspective.
belly
You
of the
won.
beast. Well, no, the
You
Yankee
won.
game.
Oh,
you were,
the
you
Yankee
were,
game.
It was hell for you. You did say.
Oh yeah, it was pretty. I mean, whatever. I'm happy that the people could celebrate their team on their night.
Yeah.
it's a lively environment. If the situations were reversed, I would be excited as well. So
Yeah, of course.
yeah. I mean, did it suck to be there? Yes,
Yeah.
but also.
You wouldn't trade it
and
for
was
anything
worse.
in the world.
It was worse because then the Yankees
Then the
won
Yankees
on a walk-off.
also won.
It's like a double whammy.
2 for 2.
It's really one of the worst. Like you couldn't pick a worse sports night for me.
It was one of the best New York sports nights
was a
I've
great-
ever experienced.
I'm
New
sure the
York
Reds.
sports
Yeah,
night.
I'm sure the Red Sox blew a game too that night or something.
they didn't even know.
I think so.
So
anyway, the Knicks go. Now we're at 2-1. Game 4 happens. Is incredible. Turns into this incredible shooting contest between Brunson and Tatum.
Tatum was just
Tatum was on fire. It was beautiful out
so
there.
good. He missed a couple threes in the third and then came right back in
Came
the
right
fourth.
back. He was hitting these mid ranges, like above the free throw line, just going absolutely crazy. And Brunson was matching him somehow.
Yeah.
And the Knicks were sort of pulling away in the fourth, and Tatum slips and falls. It's a non-contact injury, and the rest is history.
Torn Achilles.
Poor guy.
Yeah, prayers, first and foremost, prayers to Jason Tatum.
And then the Knicks
Being recovered.
go on. The Knicks lose, in a
game,
valiant effort
yeah.
led by Jaylen Brown, game 5. And then
I mean, he's bound to have a good game this series.
Yeah,
as he
he had
should.
one.
He had one.
He gave that one.
And then Jalen Brunson did a wave, and we cleaned it up in game 6, and it was a rout. And
In New York.
the Knicks are headed to the Eastern Conference Finals.
First
First
time
and
in
foremost.
25
yeah,
years.
first and foremost, how would you rate Timothee's
outfits. Timothee's
just
fits?
the Timothée
What?
experience in this series.
He's on an unreal run right now, dude. Dune, Wonka,
Bob Dylan.
Dylan, Kylie.
Yeah, I guess so.
Knicks.
He is on a generational run, I guess. I don't know. I care less to think about Timothée.
He's going to be in the Heat remake next.
And, it's fun seeing a big star being this passionate of Knicks fan. I mean, Knicks have so many diehard celebrity fans.
Were you telling me? Who was telling me that people are saying he's a better fan than Spike Lee?
No, I was listening to some New York show, and they were saying that he was.
So that's just some New York bullshit, right there.
Because Spike skipped some game for some showing.
Yeah. Listen, I did not know Timothée was a Knicks fan until earlier this season. I saw him at a couple games. Still didn't click how much of a diehard Knicks fan he is. Now that I know it's a diehard Knicks, how much of a diehard he is, it's kind of cool, but I don't care.
I don't really care. Yeah, he doesn't really belong in that Ben Stiller, Tracy Morgan.
He
Busta
feels
Rhymes,
a little
milieu,
odd, but he's making a case for himself. You gotta give him credit for that.
No, I mean, with the more support, who cares? It's great. Shout out to Tatum. He's one of the league's best.
I think
always sad to see a guy go down.
The worst part for me of this whole series.
What was the worst part of this series for you?
Well, I mean, okay, the Tatum Achilles, because that just kills a whole nother year. But in a second, I think the second worst part was just all those famous Knick fans celebrating. That
dancing on the sidelines.
It's not. I don't really get annoyed at the nobodies outside just yelling, going nuts and crazy. Like that's fine.
Normal.
I just don't want to. I hate when they do all the little intros with all the guys and then they're all happy. I don't want to see Stiller happy because of this. That's the celebrities annoy me.
Who's the biggest celebrity who goes to Boston?
Who's the most annoying
games?
Wahlberg's, Ben Affleck.
Wahlberg.
Every big city team. This is a cold take from Chuck. Every big city team has huge celebrity athletes.
No.
That they cut to. The Knicks just have slightly more, and they were just annoyed because they were losing.
Absolutely, yes. But
how many times I seen Matt Damon at a fucking Red Sox game in the middle of the World Series
chilling,
one?
Though,
Well, yeah, it's different.
It's not. Yeah, but it's like just Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. Like there's like
the Wahlbergs.
There's like three guys. They don't even
Bill
go.
Simmons
basically
now.
the same guy.
There's like three guys, and they're all the same guy.
You got the Crafts. You guys got celebrities.
Yeah.
That's
you're just
not comparable.
I think
it's LA and New York are the only two comparables.
Boston got celebrities. I don't want to hear this.
Not
mess.
like this.
They got
not
Patriots
like
players.
How could you say that as a New Yorker?
I'm kind of with Charles. I'm kind of agreeing with Charles on that.
I didn't say like this. I say they have them.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
Not the same.
It's not the same.
Have the same. Yeah.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Do the Knicks have more? Yeah. The Lakers have more? Yeah.
Way more.
It's a vibe.
No matter what,
it's a
vibe. The broadcast.
You have a celebrity row. You don't have a celebrity row.
I agree. But no matter what, the broadcast is still cutting to Ben Affleck as much as they're cutting to Ben Stiller. That's my point.
But they're cutting to Ben Stiller, and then they're cutting to Spike, and then they're cutting to Tracy Morgan, and then they're cutting to Timothée, and then they're cutting to the...
Affleck
it goes
gets that much
and
screen
on
time.
and on and on.
Yeah.
No, it's not the same.
It's pretty much the same.
No, it's not.
It's just, there's just more guys here.
It's
just slightly
it's
more.
extreme to a different degree.
It's extreme to a different degree.
But all right.
Not really.
All right.
You know how many times I've seen Kevin Hart go nuts at a Sixers game? What are we talking about here?
I don't think
what are we talking about here?
One guy.
That's one guy.
So, okay, we have more guys.
Yeah, to an extreme degree.
But Kevin Hart gets as much screen time as all the guys, is what I'm saying.
From a vibe-wise, it's not the same.
From a vibe-wise, I might agree with you there.
It's not the same.
It's the same for me. I disagree.
All right, let's talk about basketball.
I disagree. Such a weird nitpick from you, Charles.
No, it's the same thing I sort of dislike about the Lakers entourage out there. It's the only two teams that have like such a deep entourage.
So what went wrong here? What went wrong?
No. Let's get Danny's.
Okay, Danny. Your perspective.
The team won.
I'm fine in the East. That's all I'll say.
All right.
Of course.
So,
It's
Charles.
more stunning analysis.
What went wrong here for the Celtics?
No, I'm going to tell you what went right.
Okay, what
for the
went right for the Knicks?
What went right for the Knicks? Let's hear it.
Because those first 2 games, you had your guys.
They had those games.
yeah,
They should have won both
Should have won
games.
those games.
Oh yeah, they were epic failures. I guess I just think that the Knicks, the 1 through 7 showed up had a far better showing than the 1 through 7 of the Celtics.
Yep.
And I think like Bridges, I feel like in the regular season was in like some kind of malaise, like when they played each other, because he was just a completely different guy in the series than we've seen all. And he made some big shots and had like little moments when Brunson was on the bench.
Yeah.
That just, I think, allowed for Brunson to come in and do the thing and save the day. And I thought they really killed him on the boards, which the Celtics were a good rebounding team, but Porzingis, I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, Mitch, Rob, and Kat really just did a number. Kat didn't even have to shoot threes in the series to win the series. So I thought they did a good job of mucking up the sets and not getting getting the Celtics out of their flow. I thought, OG had a couple absent-minded offensive games, but he was great as his usual self the whole series. So, so I thought that's kind of why the Knicks won. Obviously, kind of like the Cavs, you just can't blow games like that at the beginning of the series and expect to win a series.
Yep.
It's just incredibly hard.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we did have injury luck on our side, I would say, in this series.
Yeah.
The illness of the Porzingis and the Tatum thing, and the Brown had the knee.
Who's we?
He's talking in the collective series.
Yes,
Talking in the collective
The
series.
royal we.
Yeah, I mean,
All the celebrities.
I
all the celebrities on Celebrity Row.
From
I'm
a
one of
Mac,
them.
I just think like and I was saying this the other day,
You are
like
one of them.
on a micro level, like I think it's a it's a shock, and you can see that when you go on ESPN and you look at the picks, right? Everyone picked the Celtics to win.
Yeah.
But I think like and they shouldn't have lost, at least not both of those games, 1 and 2. I mean, 2 was a travesty to have that happen again.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But that was like typical Celtics, they look like they
before,
have, they looked at their worst came out in those games. And game 4, I just felt like if anyone else besides Derek and Tatum show up for that game, they probably win that game. But it was just a 2-man gig for them that night. But I think like so you can like nitpick all those things. I think on the macro level, this is kind of looks like what a repeat run lately has looked like, where, certain plays are dinged up and, for whatever reason you blow a game you haven't blown in the past, and boom, all of a sudden, wham, the other team has all the momentum.
Yeah.
And it just kind of felt like the Knicks wanted it more.
Yeah.
Or had more energy to want it more.
Those
So I think that's a
celebrities
big
gave
thing.
them
That
energy.
motivation's a big
right.
thing. But
even during the regular season, there were times I thought the Celtics looked a little bored.
I just think they look slogged. Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of how I felt in some of these things. Like, the Knicks beat them to all the loose balls, it felt like, for most of the series.
Yeah.
But I think also, I think this I said, and I've been saying all year long, they need a healthy Porzingis to repeat.
You did say that.
And Porzingis, let's just go through this
Let's
here.
go through it.
The Celtics scored 89 points per possession when Porzingis was on the court in this series. They allowed 115 points per 100. That's a negative 26 points per possession. He averaged 4.2 points per game in this series.
Ooh.
That's a 15. That's a big. It's a 15-point gap between he
That's
was in the regular.
insane.
Yeah.
He shot
insane.
24% from the field. It's just
From the field?
from the field.
Wow. That's
So,
rough. Yeah.
It's just like that guy. So when you watch those runs happen in game 1 and game 2, Porzingis has been a guy who has bailed them out of that sort of stuck in isolation offense, like his entire existence, on this team. So, him just being a just complete non-factor and a complete negative factor just killed them in this series. It's 20 points that they just didn't have. And honestly, Joe probably should have gone away from him earlier, but I kept feeling like he threw him out there because they're just hoping, like, please, can he just show up for one game? And they just didn't get one game of the guy. So it's a huge talent drain with him not, because he makes them kind of special. And to just not have him was just brutal. So, and then, Jalen, his knee, and then, I thought Drew Holiday was pretty bad. So, for most of the series. So, it really felt like it was, 3 guys. And I don't know. I think I think the Knicks forced them into a lot of uncomfortable situations, but also they just, I don't know, just didn't have it. Honestly, and I think that's common for repeat titles, as we've seen over the years.
We've seen it happen a lot.
The age of Parity.
I am surprised that it is the Knicks, but I also think that if it's going to end, this is kind of how it would end. Just a little bit surprising, and the team just kind of looks a little lost out there.
Yeah.
So,
all right, let me give my perspective of the series. The whole year, I thought the Knicks were going to lose to the Celtics. I was just waiting for it, right? But, gotta give credit to my guys. They kind of built this team. They extended Anunoby, trade for Bridges to compete with the Celtics, who won the East and Finals last year. And the whole year, I'm like, okay, the Celtics are just going to go back to the Finals. Like, the Cavs aren't convincing me enough. Like, they look great. Yeah, if the Knicks get lucky with the seeding, maybe something can happen. But that luck wasn't panning out. I'm like, okay, we're going to lose here to the Celtics. It is what it is. And we just didn't lose. So now I don't know what to do with myself.
What happened to I'm fine in the East?
I am fine. Well, that's the New York bravado. But actually, this is what I thought all year. You know?
It's funny because all year I thought we would beat the Celtics. But I would never say such a thing.
Because you don't have that New York bravado, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You're the anti-bravado.
I'm the anti-bravado.
I don't even, I still can't believe how complacent the Celtics were in this series. And of course, once Tatum goes down, it's I would have been, if Tatum did get hurt, I would have just been nonstop smack talking Charles. There would have been no structure to the show. But because Tatum got hurt, it just feels like, okay,
I think one of the things that
it doesn't feel as satisfying of a win.
Because I don't know. I think
even though it still does,
I think while it was very unlikely, I think they would still have a shot down 3-1. It's not I wouldn't pick it. I wouldn't have picked it to happen, but there's some level of chance that it could have occurred because they were up by 15 in every single game except for the closer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I would have liked to go die down fighting, but no.
I would have preferred that.
Yeah, and I was still worried about that because I saw a few years a similar Celtics team come back 3-1 to the first Game 7 against the Heat.
That was 3-0.
They still lost 3-0. Yeah, went 3 straight. But I'm just like, okay, this is how we're gonna lose this time.
It did
we're gonna lose in 7.
After that Hauser game, I was a little worried for sure.
Boy, here we go.
It did just feel like there just wasn't I don't know, the energy just wasn't there.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's kind of how I felt.
No, it wasn't.
I don't think. I also think the Hauser injury is not anything to slouch about because it's a minor detail, but it's also I don't know. That's a guy. That's a guy that you throw out there, that played playoff minutes. He wouldn't have made a huge difference except for minutes, just a couple minutes here and there.
Yeah.
Maybe in one game he hits a couple threes.
He's a guy who could have stopped the bleeding in one of those Knicks runs.
With how close those couple games were, it could have swung one.
He constantly hit threes when teams were going on other runs and just kind of stopped that. But didn't have that.
So do you think this is the end of the current iteration of the Celtics, like the Tatum and Brown era, or what?
No, I don't think Tatum and Brown. I mean, there's a lot of talk about Brown going,
which seems to happen every year.
I'm not sure it's real because I don't know. Jalen's sort of a core leader of this team,
and
But the tricky part, I do think this is the end of this iteration cannot stay. You can't, especially with Tatum. Basically, he's going to be out. I would think just the entirety of next year. Like you don't want to rush that thing back and get into injured again, and now you're all of a sudden, now it's a whole, now it's 3 years. Yeah. So
yeah,
I'm thinking with that, like, you can't keep this team together because it's too expensive. It's not worth paying that much, and then also you just can't rely on Porzingis. Like, I love him. I wish he was healthy out there because he's a true difference maker, but he can't. This is 2 playoff runs in a row where, right, like, he's really only played 2 good games. Like, so you can't rely on him. So he's got a big contract. So the hard part is that he was just absolutely horrific in the series, and who's going to want him? I don't know. And then Drew also didn't have a great series. He's going to be 35. He's got a big contract.
Someone who's going to take him?
Yeah, maybe someone will. But I think it's going to be harder to move those guys. And then the awful one that I don't want to think about is moving White, because White would get you a haul. You get a haul from somebody because he's just awesome.
Great guy. Good contract value.
So yeah,
that's the thing. Like,
so I don't know what you do, but I think you got to cut salary, and it kind of has to be next year's a transition year. Like, I think it has to be.
Yeah, I agree. New ownership. There was rumors they weren't going to pay all this money before they lost to the Knicks.
So that's the funny thing is, like, does the new owner want to be known as the guy though who sold off like a cornerstone, like Brown
or White?
Yeah, they have to shed $40 million.
Okay, so it would have to be them and like Hauser, or one of them and Hauser and they get nothing in return.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna. I just can't see a team being like, "Hey,
we'll take $45 million off of you."
That's not gonna happen. Yeah, so like, it might be all 3 of those guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
There you go. Money.
Alternatively, it says here, they could utilize the disabled player exception if Tatum's injury is serious enough.
So what does that mean?
I think they get some cap relief for him being out for the whole year.
That was like the Allen Houston thing, and then the Knicks famously didn't use on Allen Houston.
That would get them $14 million exception.
Okay, that's fun.
I don't know when that kicks in or anything at all, but
it's the parameters of that.
Yeah,
but
so I don't know. I think they would love to move Porzingis, but also his contract expires when
after this year.
Yeah,
after the next year.
After next year. So
maybe there's an option, but I don't know.
That's not. I guess that's a positive thing if they want to move him, because it is easier to trade for an expiring. Yeah. An expiring deal is not as bad as say, like Drew Holiday's deal, which has 3 years, like $100 million left on it. Yeah, so that's brutal. So I don't know. I really have no idea what's going to happen. Like, I'm sort of ready for anything, because this is a front office that has made, they'll make bold moves. Yeah. So I don't know. It's going to look completely different.
What do you think, Ben?
I'm interested to see where we end up. It's not going to be clean, is what I think. No, I don't think next year is going to be like a sleek new look Celtics. I mean, obviously with the Tatum issue,
they're going to be screwed without him. I think, like you saw in like a game, in that game. I mean, the game 6. Like, I know it felt like a complete mismatch from the beginning, but I think like that's a game where you need your absolute superstar to show up and set the tone, and to not have that is just, it's a killer. It knocks them down a peg or two.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So they're definitely out of it for next year, and we'll see what the following year looks like, because you just don't know. Yeah. So it creates a nice little window for other teams. So that's another reason the East is just going to be so weak.
Dame's hurt. Even if Giannis stays, Dame's still hurt. Yeah. Even if the Celtics don't trade anyone, Tatum's still hurt. Yep. So we got that. All right.
And Horford, like,
Well,
You think he even comes back?
Horford would
See,
come back if
it was looking
if he
good.
wants. I think if he wants to, I just can't imagine him going anywhere else at this point. So it's
No,
either-
yeah, I mean a retirement, type situation.
But I feel like he wants to play.
Yeah.
I
don't
kind
know.
of feel like it.
Okay.
He loves it. He has his kids around the team all the time. I feel like it's enjoyable. I don't know. Maybe he moves into a
Broadcasting role or something.
or just a what's his name?
Podcast.
That Heat guy. What's that Heat guy's name?
Udonis?
Yeah, he's a
He could be.
Udonis.
Could be.
Because everyone loves him. you
Oh,
know?
yeah.
Like he's the best teammate. There
Everyone
is.
loves him.
So
No,
yeah.
no,
I don't know.
no
I
hate
think that
against
he'd come
Hoffer.
back if he wants to.
Okay.
I think he'll be back if he wants to. It won't be. He's not gonna. They're not gonna pay him much, but I think
No.
he'll be back.
All right. Are we
Fair enough.
Put that
Are we ready to?
nail in the bed?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
move on to some previews.
Let's stay in the East to start.
Let's stay in the East.
Pacers,
to start.
Knicks. Oh boy, it's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be nasty.
It's
Yeah.
gonna
This
be
is gonna be at
ugly.
least one
Classic.
fight. What's the over under on fights in this series?
Define a fight.
Okay, like the what do you
Shoving.
mean? The shoving and the bench is clear and multiple people get involved and the play is stopped. The play has to be stopped for a full-fledged fight. It doesn't have to be.
I hope no one leaves the
swinging.
bench because
Yeah, it's a max.
just some hold me backs,
That's what I'm talking
some
about.
hold me backs,
Yeah.
a little push,
A little scuffles.
chippiness.
scuffles, yeah,
Scuffles, maybe
That's-
beyond a chippiness to a scuffle. So
What do you think? What do you want to set the over under on scuffles?
I'll set it at 2. How about that?
Oh, 2.5.
Okay,
Gotta
2.5. So that means
Over.
more than 3 scuffles.
I was gonna go 4.5 over.
Oh, okay, scuffly.
Okay, so Danny's over.
Well, I guess scuffly. Yeah. I'll go over for 2.5. I'll
Ben?
take back my 4.5.
I'll take the under just to be interesting.
You better.
I'll take the under as well.
You son of a bitch.
I think these games matter too much. I think the rough and tumble stuff just decreases
True.
as it goes
I,
on.
I agree with that.
Like there's
Interesting.
too much at stake.
Yeah. But hey,
But the Pacers are a little bit of an obnoxious
And
team.
you've lost so much energy at this point that you're saving everything for the game.
yeah.
Just thinking about why they would be less fights.
Hey, stuff happens though.
Stuff does happen, that's for sure. I think there will be
happens.
chippiness.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There will be players who get very tired of each other. Like, who's the Brunson matchup? Is that Nemhard?
Pacers
Is it
beat-
Nemhard and Brunson?
Nemhard and Neesmith.
No, but the matchup I'm talking about.
What do you mean?
Who's defending who?
I'm telling you that Neesmith.
Oh,
and
Nemhard or Neesmith. Yeah,
are
okay.
going to cover him.
Right. Yeah. That'll be great. Brunson's going to be sick of him. by
Neesmith
the
will
end of the
foul
series.
out in one of these games. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, you know
But
Brunson's
it's
going
good that they have two. I know Brunson handles Nemhard pretty darn well.
Yeah.
But Nemhard, honestly, he's
Gotta
been
give-
fucking
Gotta
fantastic.
give
this
Nemhard
whole
credit.
year.
You know, last year after
He had that huge buzzer-beating 3.
the postseason, we was like, hey, is Nemhard like the next star, like out of nowhere?
He kind of plays like a third star.
And then the regular season came and kind of went back to normal. Blah, blah, blah. What if he's just one of those guys who's just a stud
Just
in the
turns it on.
postseason?
yeah.
That's what he's been so far for them. And it's been awesome.
Well, this Pacers team seems to feed on the momentum that they've been
Oh, yeah.
building every single game, really.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
So-
I think they feel really. The whole team has sort of galvanized over this underrated thing.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're underdog. They're kind of, if you look at the
Might
odds,
be, yeah.
they're heavy underdogs in
Yeah.
this series. Which
I don't know why.
I don't know why.
I don't know why. I kinda
either.
like 'em.
I kind of like it's. I feel like this is a bit of a coin toss. I think there's
Yeah.
some advantages to be had on both sides,
Of course.
too. I think that the Knicks will absolutely berate them on the boards in a
Yep.
couple of these games for sure. And I also think that on the other end, the Pacers will outgun them.
Yeah.
And it's really a mix of styles because the Knicks really like to get into those like slow me down, like muck fests.
Yeah.
They want a slow pace and keep everything in front of them and just, turn the game a little mucky. Whereas the Pacers run at will, and they are, even in their half court sets, they're just move. So I think that, and the Pacers are a little deeper. So I think, perhaps whoever can dictate the pace of this series the best might win it.
That's what we said last year.
It's kind of the same.
It was kind of true.
It's kind of the same, though. I think both teams are better.
Yeah.
I think the Knicks can play better too than they have been.
My concern parts are definitely on Indy side. Like, will they be able to rebound the ball well enough, and can they not just foul Brunson, to death for their sake?
Yeah,
will they be able to keep their hands out of the cookie jar?
Yeah.
Will they be able to stay balanced and not get overheated? But I do think the Knicks will probably struggle more on defense, because the Knicks haven't been a strong defense all season long.
No.
I think they're going to struggle a little bit more with this movement, get them side to side. I feel like Towns and Big Mitch there might have some problems with some of these really quick guards, more so than say them stand. It's kind of easier to stand up to a wing, I feel like, than it is to like one of these quick guards for those guys. So
yeah.
But
so any more thoughts?
I think I don't know. I mean, Knicks have the best player in the series though, so it's always got to be mentioned. Both of those guards have been just super clutch. So
yeah, they've been awesome.
Who's going to be more clutch? I mean, I guess you would probably bet on Brunson. You'd have to bet on Brunson at this point.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right, who you guys got?
Pacers in 7.
Big Knicks fan over here.
I'm going Pacers in 6.
Okay, I'll go Knicks in 7.
Gotta write these
down, baby.
Write them down.
And while you do write those down, we'll preview the next conference final series. Who we got, Benny?
Who's up in the West? The Oklahoma City Thunder, after dispatching the Denver Nuggets in 7 games, will face the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Ooh. Ooh.
What do we think? I also feel like this will be a long series.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're both looking at long series here in these conference finals.
I mean, how far for you is Ant from Shea
Here we go.
as a player?
Here we go.
Honestly,
not far.
I don't think it's that far.
It's not that
I
far.
don't think it's that far.
No.
I agree.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to come down to whose little role players have a little good game.
Yeah.
I think so. And I think I do like, there's a lot of things I do like about Minnesota in this series. Like, I think they're bigger. And I think their physicality will be a totally different ball game than what the Thunder just fought against Denver.
Yeah.
And I think some of the zone stuff that Denver executed very well against the Thunder is stuff that Minnesota could do even better.
Yeah.
Just far better, with far better rim protection. Because
in
that game 7,
right.
the Thunder kind of solved that back zone, but they get somebody in the middle, and then they'd have just two. It didn't help that Gordon was injured, but they just have guys cut the baseline. They got a bunch of dunks like that.
Yeah.
That's just going to be so much harder to do. And I kind of trust Chris Finch to draw something up.
Oh,
like
he's
that.
drawing. He's drawing.
Because I love
vigorously.
Finch. Finch is one of my favorite coaches.
Me too.
So I think that's. I like Minnesota's size in this matchup a lot. But on the other end, guess how many turnovers a game that the Timberwolves averaged in this Golden State Warriors series?
9.
11.
They averaged 18.4 turnovers a game.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
You cannot
do that.
You cannot do that against the Thunder team.
They're just going to be up 50.
Every time you turn the ball over, the Thunder just go on these huge, immaculate runs.
That there's no coming back from.
That there's no... Yeah, exactly. So that little thing alone scares the dickens out of me.
Yeah, me too.
That's
Speaking of
that's
A Christmas
kind of
Carol.
it. Like if I knew this Minnesota team could take care of the ball, for 48 minutes and end up with like 9 or 11 turnovers, I might pick them, but I don't know. I haven't seen anything from them that would make
Show
me
you
believe
otherwise.
that they're just not gonna have these shitstorm turnovers at times that are probably just gonna cost them the series.
I mean, I agree. You got anything, Ben? Any expert analysis after all that?
Nothing to add to that.
All right, so who we got?
But I think these teams are kind of one more thing.
Yeah.
I think these teams are honestly kind of equally deep in a way. Like I know Thunder's depth always gets talked about, but like when you think about it,
Minnesota's pretty deep.
They're pretty deep. If Randall can play well in this series, I'm completely sold.
Yeah,
I'll be completely sold. But I don't think like OKC's like second banana. I'm still not sort of convinced on the Jalen Williams thing.
Yeah.
Like he had a bunch of nice clean dunks in game 7 there, but like the previous game he was horrible.
Horrible.
It was horrible, and he wasn't getting those easy looks. Minnesota's going to play some really tough defense on these guys, so we'll see. Minnesota also has the experience.
They have more experience.
A little bit more experience.
Not a little bit,
And it kind of defends how the fouls are called too.
Oh,
That's my expert analysis.
I mean,
Jaden McDaniels better stay on the cool. This is a real test for Jaden McDaniels.
Big test for JDG.
All right, so who we got?
You know what? I'm going Timberwolves in 6.
T-Wolves in 6.
I really have
want me to
no
go
idea
first,
what
Chuck?
I'm doing here. Yeah, please.
I'm going Thunder in 6.
Equally possible.
It
Thunder
really
in
is the
6.
turnovers. It's the turnovers
that is big.
That's what does it for me.
For sure.
I just don't think they'll be able to take care of the ball. Okay, I'm going to take. I'll do Thunder in 7. Thunder in 7.
Thunder in 7, baby. Bookmark it. Cha-ching! Wait,
I want to take the Wolves. I really do.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to. Yeah, you were talking, and I was like, "Oh, Charles kind of convinced me on the Wolves." And then you said the turnovers thing. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's why I have the Thunder."
Right.
Like,
I just think that one weakness just leads to Thunder greatness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and also I'm just
said
sticking
Thunder
by
in
my
6,
guns.
Danny.
Yeah, I said 6.
Well,
Yeah, a little difference.
A bunch
there.
of different picks here.
we're
I
gonna
like
have one more year of a new champion. How about it?
All right, let's talk quickly about
how
the
it goes.
parity of the league. And it also leads me into something else I meant to bring up way before one of this other series talks. But let's talk about quickly the parity leagues. Last 7 years since the 2019 Raptors, no back-to-backs,
Yep. And no repeats.
no repeat. Yeah.
Repeats of earlier, but no repeats within that 7 year
7 years time span.
Yeah.
What do you think about
I mean,
it? Charles clearly has nothing on this.
bro, no. I mean,
you got something, but
this is how it.
It's been like this for a while.
It's been like this for a while.
We already talked about this. Yeah.
But
Doesn't this year feel a little different? That second round, the first 4 games, all upsets.
I think it
feels
does.
a little, yeah.
I think
so.
But I still don't think we're at the tipping point of the parity of the league that it seems to want to be with this apron stuff, because there's still teams out there like the Celtics and who haven't shed all that, that are not in serious, the cap hell is about to be on us, where we're gonna see shedding, and but I do think it is a little bit of a weird, Final Four, but also I think that this is what it's made for. And I mean, I wrote that whole article about the Celtics not really being the type of team that repeats. If you look at Denver too, I don't think it's the same thing as well. Teams that repeat have a huge talent edge on their opponents, on the league. If you think about those KD, Steph Curry Warriors, right? The last team to repeat. They had two of the top 3 players in the world on their team.
Yeah.
And then it even took them like a struggle 7-game series against Houston to even get back there.
Yeah.
And you could tell the team was like kind of just dead, like a little dead inside. That's kind of how I felt about the Celtics. It's like this team feels like dead inside right now.
Yeah.
But their talent just won out in the end. I don't think any team right now is really situated in that sort of way.
Yeah, just
to do
really
that.
talented.
And these runs, they take a lot of toll. And then you get to the mountaintop, you have to sort of relax, you know?
Yeah.
It's hard to go back through that. So I don't know. I don't think there's any teams that are, and maybe OKC is positioned to do it, but even them, like if you go on this long run, it's still hard to like get back up and do it again. And I think just not the talent not being so far in one direction is a real hindrance on that, because that's really the only thing that can overcome like the drag of it all, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, last thing has to do with the last 7 years. You know, new championship, new champion every year. And going back to the Denver series, Aaron Gordon getting hurt, he suggested that they should spread out the games more.
They had but they had 2 days off before that game.
I know, but but also
I think
all these 7 years have had big injuries in the postseason.
Yeah.
Every single one.
I think
so there might be something there.
I think the big
problem
know if that's
is the solution.
It's not the playoffs. I think it's the regular season.
Yeah.
Like we just should not be playing 82 games.
Yeah.
It's just we should like cut back to 70 or something like that.
74.
And so that way we can just eliminate all back-to-backs, more rest. Yeah. Like have still the same time frame, but like that's interesting. I think that would be better.
I would agree.
And sure, if you want to give a little more 2-3
Maybe.
like 2 days off, but we can't be going like 3 games between playoff games.
No, yeah,
this will never end.
Yeah,
it will never end.
But also that could be good for us, baby. We stay in business.
We just get to watch more NBA.
Can I read you the stat that I did some research and
yes.
Ben read this article, so they know.
In your Substack.
Okay. Yeah.
Subscribe to Charles.
So this is on the Parity.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the center. The league is facing its longest drought between 2 out of 3 finals winners since 1982.
Wow.
We are on a stretch of 5 years without like a 2 to 3. Someone won 2 out of 3. 2020 to present, because the Warriors won back to back and then they lost the third one.
Yeah.
So 5 years. There's only been a streak of 1981 was when the previous one was at 5. So it's been a long time since we've seen this many new teams flood the circuit. I don't know. Do you think that's good? That would be my question. Do we think that's good?
I personally think it's good for the sport and the fans. I like the uncertainty of other people picking other teams to win. I tell you what, like for a lot of today NBA fans, they are very nostalgic over the Warriors-Cavs rivalry. Once they got KD, like, and even still, right? Like we knew the Cavs were going to meet them and just lose. Like there wasn't much. It was awesome when they did meet each other eventually, right? Especially the series before, but like it just wasn't like who didn't the Warriors? They played. Shout out to the Trailblazers making that one Western Conference Finals.
I do think it's definitely more fun this way.
So like while the dynasties kind of bring in the casual fans, for a diehard fan, I think this is more fun.
I think I like both. Like I like both.
I think both can be
because
great.
I do think that there is, and this definitely, like you said, Danny, sort of catches the casual fan. Like I do think when we get to see the same faces over and over again, like there is awesome. A popularity thing that grows out of it. So I think I do think that the parity kind of hurts the league's popularity. I don't think I care that much because I just like basketball.
Yeah.
So I don't think it matters that much to me. But I'm more concerned with the second apron sort of cutting down teams that. So we're not even getting the consistent faces like on our own like sort of teams or like even in the early rounds like things are getting dismantled. Like I like when players stick around in the same group of the team. I don't mind the parity part of it, but I do wish there was a better way to, keep some teams together for longer. Yeah. Because I don't think right now we're at the point where it's like, oh, Katie and Steph are on, like back to my other point where, teams no team right now is really built to have a repeat run, save maybe for Oklahoma City, just because their cap situation is under control. But like, no team's really built like that. Yeah. So I think there's a natural amount of parity where, even though the Celtics are stacked, they lose this year because, shit didn't go their way, and because they're not like so much more talented than everyone else, and same thing with the Nuggets last year, and so I'm worried though that like even some of like teams like that, and like why can't we can't get one more, like the Nuggets are struggling to get one more player on their goddamn team to compete for anything, so I feel like I wish there was like a little more leeway with the cap stuff to just allow good teams to make like minor improvements, but it just doesn't feel like that's necessarily possible. Yeah. Even a team like the Knicks, like this is great this year, but they're soon to be just stuck in, they couldn't, if they didn't make it all the way this year and they wanted to say, hey, we need to make a small adjustment, it gets really goddamn hard to do. Yeah. And you're just kind of stuck. And then it gets expensive, and then you got to break down your team. Whereas, like, I would like to see these teams sort of, flourish, So I think that's the tough part that I don't want to see as far as parity goes. I don't mind having different faces because I just like the hoops. The hoops is good. It's entertaining to me. I think everything has been great. I think these playoffs have been awesome.
Yeah, no, I think so too.
Yeah, it's been an amazing playoffs.
It's been one of the better playoffs that I can recall off the top of my head.
Or like just like the Bucks, they. I mean, I know they sold a bunch of stuff pretty much for that championship, but also they're just fucked. They're fucked. So they couldn't keep Giannis. They could keep Giannis around, but they'll be irrelevant. Yeah, there's just nothing they can do.
It's tough.
So I think day and age, things like that are tough. So
no, I'm with you. All right. Let's. I
had a question. Who's and this is going back here. Who? What was the bigger disappointment? You think Cavs or Celtics?
I think the Cavs were a huge story this year, and then they were just a complete letdown. That was a bigger disappointment. We've seen this from the Celtics.
You can't from the Cavs though.
No, but the Celtics have won a championship, so you can't be that disappointed.
Well, you could be more disappointed.
You could argue for that, but I'm saying for this year it was an underdog story almost to be like, oh, they got the new coach and they figured everything out. Yeah, and we love. Oh, this team is cool. They're gonna make such a big run. Oh, guess what? They fall flat on their face to the Pacers. Who, like, to be fair, the expectations for the Knicks were also higher. So you have the Celtics, the defending champs. Yeah. For sure. That is disappointing for them. But yeah, going up against a Knicks team that at least people had in a class above the Pacers, I would say. Not in the championship class.
Maybe, yeah.
For most things I saw. But definitely above Indiana for the common viewer.
I'll go Celtics because Ben went Cavs. I mean, yeah, the whole I personally was never convinced the Cavs were getting out the East. I thought the Celtics would get. I know the championship.
Does that make it even a bigger failure for the Cavs though? Because the Celtics are out. So yeah, you don't even have to play them.
It's true.
So you gotta get to all you have to do is beat this Indiana team, and you killed the Knicks this year. So yay.
Yeah.
you know? But
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
I don't know. It's a good question.
I think the Cavs have to ask themselves more internal questions than the Celtics do. Whereas like,
Because the Celtics,
this is sort of the end of this like iteration of the Celtics. You know, they've been at this for a bunch of years. It's you know, I think like I was talking about, like I think on the micro level, it is a huge disappointment. How they lost some of those games is absolutely horrific. You know, the Cavs also had some horrific losses too. So that kind of balances out. And then I mean, having done the thing last year, it's hard to be like this. Like if they hadn't won last year, this would be just an absolute horrendous catastrophe.
Yeah.
So, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's like,
and you can't.
We gotta figure out some things for sure. But you know what? Like we figured it out before. We can. So we feel good about we'll figure it out again. Whether I'm not saying that comes to fruition or not, but that must be how the front office feels. Whereas the Cavs, it's like what went wrong here?
Yeah, it's a mystery for them.
It's a
more mysterious because of the Celtics. You know what got you to win, and you know what you were missing this time around, and what went wrong, and you can kind of point to those things and say, all right, we need to improve in these departments. And we've gotten there before. Like we know it's not some fatal flaw of our top players. You have the core, but
but the Cavs, it's like it's an internal dilemma. It's like, what do we do? Should we move somebody? Should we just come back? What happens if we fail again as this? You know,
it's like a big Jenga tower, and you just gotta figure out which block to pull out.
Yeah,
you don't know.
But they've made a bunch of moves. They're not going to be as deep. Next year, and then I don't know. It's just figuring out sort of what went wrong. I think it's easier to figure out what went wrong for the Celtics than it is necessarily, unless you want to just point to the injuries, which I think is one thing, but it's not
a part of it.
It's a part of it, but
it's not the whole.
But to just be shellacked in Game 4, like they got just. That game was absurd. That first half the Pacers had against the Cavs in Game 4. To be just completely obliterated like that with your full, I know some injuries, but full team intact there.
Yeah.
Playing.
Yeah. Struve saying that group text, man.
Yeah.
Did not
tried
do
his
it.
best.
So did not do it.
Nick Kroll.
Yeah.
Kroll.
So.
No, yeah.
Every time.
Okay. All right,
we gonna close this out with the
WNBA season has arrived.
Yeah.
So I see the Valkyries, the Golden State Valkyries.
They're gonna suck. There's the Valkyries specifically. Yeah. But I'm excited for the season as well.
Who's the favorite? Who you got?
I'm feeling the team wise for the finals.
Yeah.
The Lynx. I'm feeling the Lynx this year.
Okay.
Like they got someone big, right? They got Jewel Lloyd, or is that the Aces?
All I have to do is not get bamboozled.
Knock out the Aces, and they got to what?
No, they just have to not get bamboozled.
Oh, sorry.
Back to last finals.
Yeah, no, that was a bogus win. I'm fully with you on this.
I mean, it kind of was,
and I'm happy about it. But it was bogus. That was I mean, it's a very weak foul call. And no, I'm not going to disagree with you there.
No, I thought in the moment.
The Lynx have Nafisa Collier, Courtney Williams, Kayla McBride.
It's going to be good. It's the same team.
Yeah, it's the same team.
They're going to be good.
I mean, they got to the championship last year. I think Nafisa Collier is going to be top 3.
And Collier is going for the MVP.
For the MVP,
I like it.
All
I like
Lynx
it.
Why not? All Lynx.
I like it. Of course, I got my livery to repeat.
Oh, really?
I'm like, I like it. I agree. I agree. But I have my livery.
You're fine in the East.
I'm fine in the East.
Hey, I love it.
No, yeah, I think there's more parity this season than last. I feel like there's some of those teams are going to be sneaky.
What are our expectations for the Fever?
I'm excited. They look good.
You think they're going to compete?
I think. Oh yeah,
compete.
I think so.
They were in the playoffs last year.
They got Vandersloot.
But are they going to be a real factor in the playoffs?
They got They got Sluty.
They got your girl.
Oh,
Sluty. They got a few other pieces.
That's big.
Yep.
Yeah, I think
Wait,
another
did
year.
they get Vandersloot?
I mean,
Nope, they didn't.
Clark
this guy
is
did. I
already
take
making
it back.
moves with this hard
She's
foul
went back
stuff.
to the sky.
I know, right?
She didn't do anything. That was a clear just went after the
Basketball
ball.
play,
Hard
yeah.
take foul.
Yep, I agree.
Dewana Bonner.
They got Bonner. That's who they got.
Oh,
And Aaliyah Boston.
that's a big get.
That's huge.
That's a good get.
That is big.
She's older,
Yeah.
but yeah, they're starting to be worse probably this year. Thompson
Oh, yeah,
went
the Sun
to another
shipped.
team. They shipped them all off.
Yeah, they're rebuild.
They're rebuilt.
And the Aces got Jewel Lloyd because that's kind of big.
But they traded Plum.
Plum.
That's
They had
okay.
to shake things
Sorry.
up.
They had
Something
to.
wasn't working.
Yeah, you gotta shake
They'll
it
still
up
be
a little
good. They're
bit.
still going to be
Yeah,
one of the
I mean,
best teams.
Asia is
Yeah.
just going to be amazing
yeah,
again.
exactly.
Oh yeah, she's gonna slay.
Yep. Yeah, should be good. So give me a Liberty Lynx rematch.
Ooh, I kind of like it. I think the Liberty will be back there. I mean, I think they're super talented again, right?
Yeah,
They got
absolutely.
everyone back except for Flutie.
Sluthy and Laney is out for the year.
Laney. Laney.
I don't think
Oh,
we had
no.
Lena in our finals run though. Laney in our finals run.
I think we did.
We did?
Yeah, maybe not the finals, but
Phoebich was huge.
Yeah, Phoebich
but
was.
I think we had Laney going up to it.
And
though.
Natasha Cloud.
But you did get Cloud. Oh,
You got
Cloud
Cloud.
looks.
Come
She
on.
looked crazy that first game. She went nuts.
Yeah.
She went nuts. Okay, yeah. Liberty look to be good. They're gonna be good.
They're going to be good.
Yeah, I'm not
They're gonna
messing
be
with
good.
this Liberty squad. And Rookie of the Year?
Van Leith. I mean, no, not Van Leith. What's her name? Paige Beckers.
Beckers.
Yeah.
Rickers.
Schengen.
Yeah, Malonga. I mean, she only could play like 10 minutes in the first
Really?
game, so I feel like she's kind of gonna
They're going to
work her in. Yeah.
Okay.
Which
Yeah,
maybe
I'll
it's
go
the right call. I don't
I'll
know.
Go with Becker. I'll go with Beckers too.
Yeah.
Why not?
Beckers. I mean, that's gonna be a fun team. The Wings this year.
Yeah, I gotta
Or they
go.
could just
I gotta go Beckers.
Beckers and
I think it's kind of yeah.
what's her name?
Who knows?
Who's the Wings
Malonga
star?
will be better in the long run. I swear
Yeah,
to God.
she probably will be.
But she was the 5th pick. Huh?
Who?
Malonga? No,
Malonga.
she was 2.
Two.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm not looking very closely at
Yeah,
this
you
article.
apologize.
This was like the Mystics had like 3 straight picks. It was weird. They'll be all right.
Interesting.
But yeah, okay. So there you go. That's our WNBA predictions. Give me Stewie to and Depoy. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's that. And we're done here. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe on Spotify. Follow us. Follow Charles' Substack. Charles, follow Ben's Substack. Follow my
But
Substack.
we're not going
after
to tell
I
you
make
what the
one.
names of them are.
We won't tell you what the name of them
Yeah,
are.
I took to be honest, I don't remember your
No,
names
it's okay,
off
okay.
the top of my head. I was hoping you guys would.
Okay,
Did you
follow
check?
Nowhere News on Substack and
Local Boy Landscaping.
Local Boy
Landscaping.
God
Brought
love
to you
it.
by Big Daddy Records.
Listen to the
What's our record
album.
company called?
Man, we scrapped that. We scrapped that
Oh.
record company.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was Bada Bing.
I burnt a
Bada
lot of
Bing
Bings.
Records.
Bada Bing. It turns out there was an actual one.
Yeah,
So,
because I
if they
tried.
Googled
Because
it-
when you upload a song up an album, you're allowed to like put in a label name. And I
and they
put
said
in,
you can't.
But I researched it and it said Bada Bing, and I was like, I can't. Now I can't.
Oh,
Wow.
what if we were like
We
Bada
can't- yeah.
Booey? Bada Booey Records.
Bada Boom.
Bada
Bada
Booey?
Booey. Bada
What are we, a
We
swimming
could do
pool?
something. We could do something. We'll save that conversation, table it, and we'll go back to the drawing board on that one on our record label. But so then, listen to Charles's album. They need the streams.
They're struggling. They can't rub 2
No,
pennies
yeah,
together.
seriously.
What else we got? Email us.
I need
Please
about
email us.
4 billion more streams so I can make $10.
$10.
Baby.
Yeah, and then you can do your very own Eras tour.
Oh, I can't wait.
The Frank era.
Go all around, tour all around the Brooklyn
the
local
Do Not
spots.
Bend era.
It'll be great. It'll be
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And until next time,
Say it.
good night and good luck. I forgot
Yeah.
it. I forgot it. I always do.
The No Shots podcast is brought to you by Dank Delish Coffee. You can find Dank Delish Coffee beans at dankdelish.com and have their deliciousness shipped right to your lovely abode. Start your morning with a cup of delish. You can also follow the No Shots podcast on Spotify and YouTube. Like and comment. Thanks for listening to the show.